Hey everybody, how are you? It's Pete Vargas. And if we can do the full screen with me right now, team, that would be great. I want to go to the full screen right now so I can just see all of the beautiful faces here right now. So I hope you guys are well. Understanding how to pivot in this world is really, really important. Hey, if you're chiming in, let us know where you're chiming in from. I'm coming to you from Miami. So let me know where you're chiming in from. I'm going to look down here. I see Miami. I see Croatia. I see Tampa. I see Tennessee. I see Chicago. I see Idaho, Dallas, South Africa, UK, Kentucky, Mexico, Colorado Springs, Compton, New York, Mississippi, San Diego. I see all of your beautiful faces. I love this. I love this energy. And listen, I feel like when I'm doing trainings like this, specified trainings, and you're going to hear from my wife here in just a minute, but I feel like when I'm doing specified trainings, Bahamas, New Jersey, there's always a curveball. Let me tell you the curveball today. The curveball this week is a couple of things. My wife got a very terrible ear infection, and we weren't able to leave Miami. I was at GrowthCon last week speaking on Grant Cardone's stage, and we were supposed to leave. And so that was the first thing. The second thing is Grant asked me to come over and speak to all of his licensees today. And I took my computer and I left my computer. And I'm at the hotel and I'm realizing I don't have my computer, and I have this amazing training with thousands of people watching. And I think, okay, you got to go with what's the second best, which could be my phone. But in this case, it's an iPad. I've never done a training on an iPad. And what I want you to know is I'm not going to let that set you back from getting the most out of this training. And so I am so excited about today. One little small stage today with 50 people generated me 6 figures. And over the course of the last 60 days, since some of you were on the training, how many of you were on the training with my wife that we did about 60 days ago? If that's you, say me, say I was. And if you weren't, say I wasn't. I was, or I wasn't. I wasn't. That's okay. Because 60 days ago, my wife started her journey of her business that she felt called to. And I'm going to give you an update today of where she's at here a little bit towards the end, because what I'm about to teach you is exactly what my wife has done the last 60 days. And you have an opportunity to go do it over the next 60 days. And we made a promise to you guys that she would launch a business from 0 to 6 figures in the first 90 days of her business. And I believe it's going to happen. And I actually believe that will come to pass in the next 30 to 40 days, in the first 90 days. And so today I want to do a training, and I'm very excited about this training because I haven't done this training for a long time. I haven't done this training, and today I want to do a training, and I'm going to be very concise and very to the point, but I really have come to realize that I have to simplify what it takes to take you to the next level. So if you're trying to make your first 6 figures, welcome, you're in the right place. If you're trying to make your next 6 figures, welcome, you're in the right place. And I actually believe that if you will follow what we're about to teach you over the course of this hour, less than hour training, that you will have that opportunity over the next 60 days. And so thank you for being here, team. If we can pull up the deck right now, I'm going to get rocking and rolling. 60 days to your first or next 6 figures. Let me ask you a question. How many of you would it be your first? How many of you would it be your next? Write the word first or next. If you've already made 6 figures, I want to know next. Man, we got a lot of firsts. We got next. But everything in between there, wow, this crowd is engaged today. Yes, I'm looking at the comments over here, and I'm looking at you right here. We're doing this from a hotel room in Miami because we had the studio ready in Colorado, but we didn't get to go because of what's going on, and my wife is doing a lot better. First, everybody, when I ask a question, I want to know the answer. Mark next. Okay. Well, over the next 60 minutes, and team, I'm going to be going right off of my phone here. Over the next 60 minutes, if we can go to the next slide, be kind of pass with me here. I want you to know that if you're stuck in your business, If you need more customers and revenue, and if you're ready to scale your business, that's what I want you to understand how to do. Learn to create your first or next 6 figures in your business. I want you to know that the number one problem with entrepreneurs, the number one problem for entrepreneurs, and I just spoke about this in front of 17,000 people at GrowthCon this last week, is getting attention and getting customers. And if you can't get attention and if you can't get customers, it's really difficult for you to be able to get your message and your movement out to this world. This is one of the biggest problems that you face today. You know, as a guy that couldn't for the first year get customers because he was so focused on all of the wrong things. And then he finally started to figure out what he needed to do. And now in the next year, I believe we'll cross 100,000 customers over the course of the next year. We're well north of 50,000, but I believe by the next year, we'll have over 100,000 customers across the world whose lives we're making an impact on. And if you're not one of those today, like, I invite you into our world because we are so committed to getting your message out to the world. And I'm going to take some of your questions at the end. I see lots of questions popping up, but today I want to help you understand how to get more customers. Because here is the problem. Before you go to the next slide, team, what I want people to try to put is where do you think the wealthiest place in the world is? And if you know the answer because you've heard me, don't write it. But where do you think the wealthiest place in the world is? The graveyard. The graveyard. My good buddy Prince EA texted me yesterday, and I love his video. The graveyard is where some of the greatest ideas that exist in our world live, because their dreams never lived out, ideas never come to fruition, cures, healings, teachings, education, insights that have never been heard by the world because those folks weren't either brave enough or educated enough to understand how to get those ideas out to the world. And today, I'm going to tell you what I fight against. I fight against your idea not being out on the world on a bigger scale. For some of you, it's just getting started today, but for others of you, it's taking it to a whole nother level. A whole nother level. And so I deeply care about that message. I deeply care about that idea in your heart. Why do I care about it? I care about it because, as many of you know, guys, you can transition, as many of you know, and I'm going to try to say the next word in the next slide to give my team, my slides are on my computer at Grant Cardone's office. But why do I care about your message? I care about your message because I came from a terrible relationship with my dad. If you haven't heard this story, that's my dad at Miami Marlins Stadium a few years ago, hearing his son speak for the first time and hearing his son speak about a father who was an abusive father growing up, a father who did not great things to his kid. And when I was 12 or 13 years old, my grandmother took me away from my dad because of the things that he did to me. And you see, I went on to go to college. I went to college and I went to school and I thought I was going to be the next Jerry Maguire, and realized that I didn't have my law degree. I didn't want to get a law degree. I didn't want to go to school 4 more years. And so I chose to get a business degree. And I was on my way for a high $80,000 paying job in Dallas, Texas. I graduated. I got that call, and I got the call from my youth pastor, or from my pastor. And he said, "Pete, our youth group is falling apart. Would you come over and take over as youth pastor?" And I asked him the question, "How much does it pay?" And he said, $18,000. 18 versus 80. And I knew I wanted to go make money, but something inside of me called for me to say, I have to go take over as youth pastor. I've got to go help these kids. In the same way that I felt like I needed to help these kids, today I get the chance to help you as an entrepreneur or a business owner get your message out to the world on a bigger scale. For those kids, it was helping them understand how they can holistically be healthy. And my first Wednesday night, there were 3 kids there. 3 kids there, Stacy, Jory, and Mackenzie. And I thought, wow, I've got a lot of work to do. And I looked those girls in the eyes, like I'm looking you in the eyes right now. And I said, we're going to grow this youth group. And I need you 3 to get behind me. And I told those girls that we were going to grow this youth group by bringing in speakers. And I brought in powerful speakers. I brought in all types of speakers, CEOs, financial advisors, health and wellness experts. I brought in every type of domain. I wanted my kids to be holistically healthy. Yes, in their faith, but in their family, understanding money, everything. And our youth group, because of that, it grew from 3 kids to 800 kids in 4 short years, because every time I brought a speaker in, the youth group grew. I bring another speaker in, the youth group grew. I bring another speaker in, and the youth group would grow. And you can see in the article right there that we had 14,597 people that lived in that town. And that Wednesday night in 2001, we had over 800 kids in one building, because of the power of other speakers' messages, other entrepreneurs' messages. And those 3 girls helped me. They got behind me and they bought into me. And what I want you to know is that every time I brought a speaker in, and they wouldn't call themselves speakers, a lot of them would call themselves entrepreneurs. Every time I brought them in, the youth group grew. And what I want you to know today is, as you follow this methodology, every stage you get on, your business will grow. It will grow, and it will continue to grow, and you'll have a deeper and a deeper impact on this world. One of the speakers that I brought in, his daughter was the first girl killed at Columbine, and his name was Daryl Scott. One of my mentors told me, you have to bring him in. You have to bring him in. His daughter was the first girl killed, and my mentor told me that Daryl's daughter had written this paper called My Ethics, My Codes of Life. And it's a paper that in the middle of the paper, when they double click on this, this is what she stood for. She said, I have this theory that if one person will go out of their way to show compassion, that it'll start a chain reaction of the same. I want to pause here because I feel called to pause here right now. Rachel knew what she stood for. And because she knew what she stood for, and because she wrote down what she stood for, she took a stand for it and she walked it out. She left her family with 6 diaries. This was a paper she had written for her 5th period English class 1 month before she was killed. This is what she stood for. But if you go read her 6 diaries, you get to read stories of her being a young girl that actually walked this out and changed hundreds, if not thousands of people during her lifetime on this earth through living this out. And now today, impacting millions, if not tens of millions, including Oprah, Katie Couric, President Bush, President Clinton, being deeply impacted by her life. Probably the most important question that I'm going to ask you today is, what is it that you're fighting for? What is it that you stand for? Who are you trying to impact? Like, can you tell me that in a sentence? She said, I have this theory that if one person can go out of their way to show compassion, that it'll start a chain reaction of the same. People will never know how far a little kindness can go. And listen, humanity sounds great, but humanity is too big. That's an idea that can help, that might possibly die at the graveyard because you're not crystal clear. And if you're not crystal clear, if you try to tell the world I'm trying to impact humanity, nobody on the world is going to come into your world to do business with you because they're not going to be able to connect with that. My wife is impacting families, making sure that their family story, she calls it their legacy video, is carried on even after they leave this earth. That's what my wife stands for. Capturing a family member's story, one story at a time. And that'll make more sense on the back end, but like, are you clear on that? Like, I see some of you writing it, but are you clear on that? People suffering from obesity. The faith book mission to fulfill. Okay. I see a lot of you on here. And so Rachel stood for something. So much so that as her dad shared her story at Hereford Church of the Nazarene, that day during the day, he shared it with the kids, and the kids were deeply impacted. That night, he shared it with the parents and the educators. And there were 1,000 people in that room. And my dad slipped in the back door. He was sitting on the back row. He heard this man speak. And his final challenge, as he talked about his daughters, he's like, Parents, you have no idea how long you have left on earth with your kids. My parents out there, how many kids do you have? I always love to see what our biggest number is. Don't lie, please. 5, 3, 6, 7. 7's our biggest number right now. And I don't think anybody's going to lie. So whoever the 7 is, I want to make sure that we get them the 1,200 dream stages that their message needs to be on. Make sure you get them the PDF guide team of the 1,200 dream stages that their message needs to be on. I'm going to be giving that out to several people through the course of today's live training by just being in participation. This would cost you tens of thousands of dollars to go do research on your own. 1,200 dream stages that you need to be on. 200 orphans. Okay, give the 200 orphans one too. I will definitely do that. Look at everybody trying to fight their ankles. See, but what you're doing is you're actually fighting. A lot of you are going to fight for a little PDF guide, but you're not fighting like that for your message. You're not doing whatever it takes to make sure your message can be heard. And today, my hope is that you fight and that changes. Because as Daryl on that stage told the parents, you have no idea. He said, I have no idea April 20th was going to be the last day I ever had with my daughter. And he said, you have no idea, parents, how long you're going to be on this earth with your kids. And now, because I have 4 kids, that really hits home. It didn't hit home as much 20 years ago, but it really hits home today. And then Daryl followed that up and he said, some of you need to go ask for forgiveness for something you've done to your kids. And that night, my dad was sitting in the audience. And that night, my dad went and he went home. He wrote me a letter. He said, I'm sorry for the father I've been. Here, my son is having an impact on hundreds of kids' lives. I can't have an impact on my only son's life. I'm asking you for a second chance to do things right. And he told me for the first time in a long time how much he loved me. That man's message changed my relationship with my dad forever. Today, my father and I have one of the most amazing relationships because of one man bold enough to share his message on a stage. And that wouldn't have been possible if somebody wasn't willing to pay for that program on that stage. Today, my relationship with my dad has changed, but that was the day where I was triggered to say, I'm about to go make sure that messages get blown up to a whole nother level. Powerful messages that change people's lives in finances, in relationships, in wealth, in health, in business, in whatever domain that you serve. What audience are you trying to serve? I want to be clear on that. Who do you believe that your message can help today? Who? Who can your message help today? That's my question to you. Who can your message help today? Do you know that? Are you clear with that? Missionaries in Mexico. Thank you, Lynn. You're helping people in Mexico. Kingdom entrepreneurs, business people, independent Christian music artists, cancer survivors, new caregivers, side hustles, restaurant owners, women who want more, obese people, new authors, women in mid-level, speakers, cancer patients. Like, look at this. Do you see this? This is what can change the world. That's what I mean by message. Message isn't soft. If we would just go help the people that you see in the chat, we can change our world. And so today, it's completely dedicated to that. So my first case study, you're my next case study, by the way. My first case study was him. I called him 303-910. I won't tell you the last 4 numbers. I told TD Jakes' team last night in North Carolina at dinner the last 4 numbers. Because when somebody makes a profound impact on your life, you let them know. And I let him know. He said, Pete, but I'm struggling getting my message out to the world. My daughter's story is bigger than just the Columbine tragedy. The Columbine tragedy is a tragedy, but Rachel's story is her life story. And there's so much that can change the world with this. How do I do it? I said, what do you mean you're struggling? And he showed me his finances. And here was his finances in 2002 and his finances on his 990 form in 2003. And before we go to the next slide, what I want you to know is I said, Daryl, you changed my dad and I's life. I'm going to help you understand how to change this. And this framework that you see on the next slide is where I'm going to dedicate the rest of our last 40 minutes today, team. And it's the stage to scale framework. And it's 4 things that you've got to dial in. And this looks different. This is the first stage to scale training that I've done in probably over a year, because this looks so different in a post-COVID world versus a pre-COVID world. And these are the 4 things that I helped him figure out from 2003 to 2015. He was my first case study. Now you'll be my 67,000th case study. And we're on a mission to help a million entrepreneurs get on over 1 million stages a year. But we started with this man because of the impact that he had on me and my father. And what you see is a few short years later, the revenues begin to shift and the revenues begin to change, because you can see in a few short years, we took him from $63,000 to $6.5 million. I told TD Jakes' team last night, it's important to have income, but income is the thing that allows you to have a greater impact. When you have income, you can have a greater impact. And so he didn't just have income grow. Look at the numbers that went up. He went from speaking to thousands of kids to impacting millions of kids. He went to no teen suicides prevented to a teen suicide prevented every day and a school shooting prevented every month. Today, it's not just about having you get income or having you get income. The most successful entrepreneurs, and success not only in an external standpoint, but an internal standpoint, is when you can get both eyes. Or in some cases, both R's. I call them revenues and reach. Income and impact. When you can have them both is really when you're making a difference. And today, I want to help you understand these 4 parts. I'm just going to spend about 10 minutes on each part. And by the way, he wasn't our only case study from 2018 to 2020. Our students have been on 350,000 stages, impacting 72 million people and doing over $500 million in revenues. We audit our students, just our customers. If you are a current Advance Your Reach customer, say AYR customer. And if you're not, say not yet. Not yet. If you are, say customer. If not, not yet. Yeah, I see lots of you. There's a combination. Anybody who's been a customer of ours, will you talk about the impact that we've had on you? And that's a scary thing to put out there, but it's not for me. It's not a scary thing to put out there for me. Because team, come back to me first with let's drop the screen share and we'll come back to this. My wife and I were at a tennis tournament a couple of days ago and we're on the front row. A professional tournament, like seeing the best in the world play. And there's a guy sitting right in front of us in the press box. And I'm like, Kim, he looks familiar. Like, I know I've seen him somewhere. And I lean over and I just say, man, your face looks so familiar. Well, come to find out, he's one of the greatest double players in the history of the game. He's won 52 titles or 55 ATP Tour titles. But he turns around and he says, you're Pete Vargas. I go, what? Oh, wait, hold on. He goes, you're Pete Vargas. I've heard you speak 5 times. You're having an impact on me in the way that I'm serving the world with my message and making an impact with my message to be able to teach more people the game of tennis on a bigger scale because of you. I'm like, are you serious? Are you serious? That's what we fight for. I want my team to see that. That's what we fight for. Right there. You. We fight for you. So yes, we have some pretty cool people, and you can go back to the screen. You can go back to the screen right here. That was 2 nights ago. Guys, can we go back to, there we go. So I love what Grant said. I love what Dean said, Michael Hyatt. I could go on and on, but they believe in this methodology that I'm about to teach you. They believe in this methodology that I'm about to teach you. And so I'm excited to teach this to you today. And we have a goal of putting our students on 1 million stages by 2027. We're at 350,000 right now. And having you impact 1 billion people and making billions of dollars of revenues and income so that you can serve more people. That's our big, hairy, audacious goal. And so thank you for all of you that are here live with us. I want to give all of you a gift. Those of you that participate well, I'm going to give some added gifts too. But I want to give all of you a gift at the end of the day. And this is literally the blueprint, the 60-day blueprint to help you go gain another 6 figures in income over the next 60 days. I'm going to give this to you at the end. But what I want to teach you about are these 4 pieces for just a few minutes today, and what they look like in 2022. We've got to get you clear on these 4 parts and what that looks like in 2022. So who's excited? Who's excited? Who's excited? Come on, let's go. Let's go. 4 pieces. We'll be done in 30 or 40 minutes. And then I'll take some questions on the back end. And then I have to go back over to the Cardone offices today because there's a graduation that I'm supposed to be a part of. And I can't wait to have a lot of you participate in one of our graduations in the future of being a graduate of this methodology. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to ask you to rate yourself in all 4 of these areas, because if you don't rate yourself, you don't know where you stand. So the first thing, now this is the exact process. By the way, stages are back. Stages are back. You're gonna hear me focus on stages more because of it's a big fundamental shift that our team has made, because we believe that we've got to help our students focus on that. This is the exact process that my wife has followed. The exact process. And I'll bring her back on the back end. So let's talk about clarity. My question, the foundation to this is with clarity. Let me tell you, when you get clarity. When you get clarity, you get confidence. When you get clarity, you get customers. When you don't have clarity, you don't have confidence, you don't have customers. One of the biggest reasons why people don't have customers, I told you the biggest issue is entrepreneurs don't have customers. The reason they don't have customers is because they're not clear on the problem they solve and who they serve. They're not clear on the problem. You've got to identify the problem or the possibility that you want to help in making people's lives better. You've got to use customer language, and you've got to present that you know the solution. Wait, stay there, guys. Stay there. This is the first piece of getting clarity. Like, there are so many problems and so many possibilities that exist in our world. And the person who has the answer to that is you. You know how to help somebody walk through cancer. You know how to help somebody who is trying to grow their business. You know how to help somebody who's having a struggle in their relationship or with their weight. You know that. You know the possibility that exists. You know the problem that they face. And if you can begin to get clear on that, it will begin to revolutionize the amount of customers that you get. The other thing that you got to be clear on is the people you serve. I asked you this question: who is your niche? Oh, I could serve everybody. No, identify somebody who is lowest hanging fruit and seek others with the same problem. I was just over at the Cardone offices, and a gentleman said, I understand how to do sales really well. And I know there's all these industries that I can teach to how to do sales and not feel icky about it. I asked him the question, what industry do you come from? He said, I come from the financial management or financial advisor space. I said, your low-hanging fruit is starting right there. Yes, you're teaching sales. That's the problem you're solving, but now you got to get clear on the niche that you're going after. Let me tell you, one of the greatest things, and just come to me now, let's get off the slides. One of the things that we decided as an organization that is the most important thing, one of the most important things, and we used to have this on the back end. So you have this escalation model of a product suite. And we got so clear on us serving you that clarity workshop came like third in the equation. And we started saying, we can't be charging thousands and thousands and $9,800 for a clarity execution workshop, because that's what somebody needs out of the gates. They need to identify who they're serving, the problem they're solving, the products that they want to take to this market, their BHAG, and all of these other things. They've got to get clear on this, because if they can get clear on it, they will see the business idea exists. They got to get clear on their pricing and all of these other things. With clarity comes confidence, and with confidence comes customers. But the reason why most ideas go to the graveyard is because they don't have clarity. How many of you would say, I don't have clarity today? And how many of you would say, I have clarity today? On a scale of 1 to 10, where would you rate yourself before I get into the second bucket? I love some of the 10s. I love some of the 2s, the 1s. Write all 4 of these numbers down. And so you 10s should have lots of customers. And if you don't have lots of customers, it's because you're not communicating it powerfully. The second thing, the second part of the framework that you have got to begin to focus on, and the opportunity, and we can go back to the slides here, is what we call your signature talk. Your signature talk, mark my words, is the greatest marketing tool that you have in your tool belt. No, go back, guys. Signature talk is the greatest marketing tool that you have in your toolbox. And it's part 2 of the stage to scale methodology. It's part 2. Now, here's what I want you to know. You can have clarity, but if you're not communicating that clearly and powerfully, ain't nobody doing business with you. I did a mastermind on Monday, and this was interesting. I did a mastermind on Monday with Brandon Dawson and Grant and Jared and me, and we just let people ask questions. And a lot of people would ask a question and tell us what they do in about a 2 or 3 minute period. It would take them, will you give me that right there? It would take them forever to do it. Yeah. And Brandon Dawson finally said, no wonder you don't have customers. None of you can even ask a question or tell us what you do with clarity. You're not even communicating what you do well. And I was like, I'm so glad that he tackled the elephant in the room, because I was thinking the same thing. Nobody was talking about this powerfully. When you talk about this powerfully, this is what happens. Let me show you this diagram right here. Your signature talk is the greatest marketing tool. You can use it on your sales pages, your videos, your team, one-to-one, one-to-many, online, offline, social media. This, to me, is one of the most powerful components to growing your movement, is understanding how to clearly communicate. I love what Maya Angelou said. She said, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. One of the kindest things that I've ever been told is, Pete, you create this space that makes me feel safe. I hope you feel safe right now. Listen, I want you to be a customer of mine. There's not even a question, because the difference between a customer of mine is graveyard idea versus idea that comes to fruition. That's the difference. A lot of you who said not yet, I hope today is the day. I really do. But in the meantime, I'm going to serve you so powerfully, I'm going to make you feel safe, like I'm going to. But I've got to help you go to the next level. And the next level exists in the next 60 days. We're 90 days through this year. Come back to me, guys. We're 90 days through this year. And many of you need to be reevaluating your goals of where you thought you would be, because we're 90 days in. Like, are you on track or are you off track? We're a quarter of the way done with 2022. Be honest. Don't try to be right. Be honest. Are you on track or off track? Let's go back to the slides. Lots of off. Haven't started. Few of you on. So here is the 4-part framework. The 4-part framework that I want to talk about. It's the heart, the head, the hands, and the heart. And so guys, will y'all go to the very first slide, which is the opening heart. This opening heart, and my slides right here are reloading now because that's this program, but the opening heart is where it all begins. This is the place where I want you to not only connect with them. Imagine there's an imaginary wall between you and the audience. As long as you can break that wall, how do you break that wall? By making a common connection that you both have. By making sure you talk about something, making a big, bold promise that you want to be able to give to that audience before you're done. Still on the heart, guys. Making a big, bold promise. Like, that's how you really focus, is that way. But the second thing, so you want to make some type of common connection, but the second thing is sorry, I'm still in the heart. I'll transition here. The second thing is making sure in this opening heart that people understand that you know what it's like to walk in their shoes, but also understanding that you have gone somewhere that they so desire to go. I hope you get this. This is what they call the gap. If you just tell them that you went somewhere that they want to go, they say, yeah, but they don't know what it's like to be in my shoes. And if all you do is talk about being in their shoes, they're like, why do I want to follow this person? They don't know where I want to go. So you've got to make sure they understand what it's like to not have great marketing, or having walked through cancer, or having taken care of a loved one in their latter years, or a broken relationship, or almost being on the verge of divorce, or whatever you've gone through, but you figured something out. That's the second part of the opening heart. And the third part of the opening heart is helping them understand what your big, hairy, audacious goal is. Write this down. If they find themselves in your big, hairy, audacious goal, the probability of them becoming a customer goes up high. It's those big, hairy, audacious goals. So you don't have to have 1 million people impacting 1 billion people like Pete. I think of one client in Phoenix, Arizona, who said, I want to help prevent 30 foreclosures in the greater Phoenix area every year. That's a beautiful BHAG, because people who might be facing that will be like, this is my person to help me. The second piece of the story break framework is the content. It's the head. You start with the heart. You open up their hearts, and now their minds are ready to listen. Most people go directly to the mind, but you got to open up their heart. The mind is simply, you've presented this gap. This is where they are. This is where they want to be. What are the 3 to 5 steps that will help them move and close the gap? One of our students, Gary Brecka, who just spoke at GrowthCon last week. Did anybody hear Gary Brecka on the GrowthCon stage? Say Gary Brecka if you did. The best. Amazing. Yes. If you heard him, yeah, you're saying it. I built his talk. And I said, Gary, how do people get optimized health? And he told me the 4 ways that they go from here in their health to here in their health. So those become the 4 parts to teach. Those just happen to be his 4 products too, his 4 product buckets. So he's teaching what they need to do to close the gap. That is the proprietary process. This might be good to write down. There are a lot of people that do what you do, but there's nobody that does it the way that you do it. There's a lot of people that do what you do. There's nobody that does it the way that you do it. That's your proprietary process. That's your unique ability that God has gifted you with. The third part of the story break framework is the hands. And it's the tactical close. And I just taught this at Grant's office. You want to help people understand how to get a quick win in their life. Give them a free gift that gets them a quick win in their life. Help them move from A to B. Don't try to move them from A to Z. A book is a terrible gift to give away from a stage. because less than 1% of them are going to read it. But helping them do one thing in the next 24 hours, go tell your kids how much you love them in the next 24 hours. How many will make a commitment of that? And when Daryl would have them make that commitment, when you followed up with them, now all of a sudden these educators are also booking his school program because he helped them get a quick win. Or Grace giving us a meditation that we can do in 60 seconds from stage, and seeing that everybody in the room except for one person's stress level went down after the meditation because she had you self-assess. And then she said, I want to be able to give this 60-second meditation to you all as a gift that you can use anytime during your day. How many people do you think took that free gift? These are examples of quick wins. And in some cases, the quick win is you get to talk about your products and services. You're either trying to give away a free gift or talk about your products and services. And it all depends on what they let you do. And then the fourth part of the story break framework, and the final part, is the emotional close. You close with a story that reinforces the importance of everything you just taught him. When you do these four parts, guys, if you can bring up the story break framework, and you can use this in your communication, like this will become the greatest marketing tool you have. I love what Amy Yamada said. I love what she said. She said, I did my talk in front. I use my signature talk framework in everything I do. I did my talk in front of 14 people at my powerhouse retreat and made an offer. 10 people said yes. It was my biggest week, $111,000, a small yet powerful stage. I love what Warren Buffett said. One of the greatest investors of all time. He said, you can improve the value of your company by 50% just by learning communication skills. You want to see the value of your company go up, become a powerful communicator. How many of you, come back to me before we go to the third part of the teaching, how many of you would love for us to one-on-one in one call map out your entire talk for you, and then have Pat Quinn and our coaching team give some feedback as you deliver a 3-minute talk back to us? Like, not most people can, like the majority of the market cannot afford a $10,000 workshop of ours. We have $10,000 workshops where we build the calls out, or where we build your talks out over 2 days, but I'm going to help you understand how we can do that over one conversation. Where would you rate yourself as a communicator today? And if you're 10 in clarity and 10 in communication, you shouldn't be on this train, because that means you're wrecking shop in the market. Like, I'm just being honest. You don't need the rest. Rate yourself. Keep rating yourself as the third part of the framework. And we only got 2 more left. It's the products. Guys, you need products. Third part, products, team. We got to scale with your products. It's not you speaking that's going to change people's lives. Zig Ziglar said, I've never changed someone's life with a speaking gig. But sometimes I do a speaking gig and they buy my cassettes. And if they buy my cassettes, I got a shot at changing their lives. I love this quote. I had the chance to meet Tom Ziglar. And I read this email that Tom wrote, and I just want you to see it really quickly. He said, have you ever met someone who almost instantly felt a powerful connection to? It doesn't happen very often in life. So when it does, you have to promise yourself to take action, use that connection for good, and harness all its power. It happened when I met Pete Vargas. Within seconds, I knew we were on the same path in life, had the same values and driving forces behind us. I'll be honest, he reminded me of Dad. I don't know if there's been a more powerful quote said about me in my life. Only thing that could have been more powerful is that he reminded me of Jesus. And I'm just saying the way that I live and who I am. But I called Tom and I said, Tom, thank you for that. And he said, Pete, do you want to know where? I said, my favorite quote is your dad said, I've never changed someone's life with a speaking gig, but sometimes they buy my products and I got a shot at changing their lives. He said, Pete, do you want to know where that quote came from? And I said, yeah, I do. And he said, Pete, Dad started to understand late in life. He surveyed 100 people. He pulled 100 testimonials from his stack. And he had his assistant put one in this bucket, or he had him put him in two categories. Category one was people who said, Zig, you changed my life with the stage. Category two was people who said, Zig, you changed my life with your products and services. He pulled 100 random testimonials, and only one of them was over here, and 99 were over here. Zig came to realize late in life that it's his products and services and being in his customers' ears day in and day out that changed their lives. You have got to have products and services. And Tom Ziglar told me to tell everybody I ever do this training or ever show this quote of, he said, you make sure you tell everybody they have a moral obligation to get their products and services out to the world. The number one thing that will help you sell more products and services, the number one thing, who wants to know the number one thing that will help you sell more products and services? Who wants to know that? Who wants to know that? This is more a psychological thing, because the reason a lot of you aren't selling products and services is because you feel like you're selling products and services. I don't feel like I'm selling products and services. I want to work with all of you on here for the next 60 days because I know what I can do in your life versus if you try to do it on your own. The number one thing is conviction that your products and services change people's lives. If you know that your products and services change people's lives, it no longer becomes selling, it becomes serving. It becomes serving. I am actually not serving you if I don't make you aware of how I can help you. I'm helping you just in this hour, but I can help you a whole lot more in the 60 days. So I want you to take your phones out, take a picture of this next slide, because I'm not going to go into this next slide, but there are 17 products and services that our customers have built and sold. And if you're in the start bucket, those 6 are a great place to start. If you're in the momentum bucket, those are the good place to start. If you're in the scale bucket, those are the place to start. But let me take a quick picture, snap it with your phone. But let me tell you 5 of my favorite. 5 of my favorite. Number 1 is, stay there, service-based business. People want a done-for-you product. People don't want to have to figure out how to do it on their own. Now, you can charge premiums for that. We have things from $60,000 to millions of dollars that we will do as a done-for-you service. Done-for-you service in our world today is a popular one. Another one is coaching. You might need to start one-to-one. Then you can move one-to-many. One-to-one and one-to-many coaching is a powerful, powerful vehicle. I started by coaching people in a day for $5,000. This week, I had 2 people this last week pay me $100,000 to spend one day with them. Can you believe that? $100,000 to spend 6 hours with me. Oh, Pete, like, you feel like you're robbing them? Like, do you feel pressure? My wife said, do you feel pressure? No, because I know what those 6 hours will do. Gary Brecka, the gentleman who spoke on Grant Cardone's stage, spent 12 hours with me, invested 6 figures, and landed just shy of 2,000 new customers in 1 hour. I know the results that I can do. Any takers out there who wants to invest $100,000 in a day with me? Gary said that $100,000 was worth millions of dollars and will be millions and millions. Rachel said, I wish. Oscar says me. Not yet. Not yet. I like that. I love that. Oh, I can't believe that. Like, you would even say that. Don't worry. Do you take a check? Do you take payments one day? I love it, guys. The third of my favorites is your own events. This is my own event. You know, we have a couple thousand people that are signed up for this today, and we're doing something that we haven't done in literally years today. So you're going to hang on. But you can host these own events. Like, listen, I'm on an iPad. I don't even have my computer. My wife is right here. She's about to pop on here in just a second. The 4th thing that I love is digital courses. They scale. they scale. And then the fifth thing, and probably my favorite right now, is training and consulting. I love consulting, where people will sign a 6-month or a 12-month or a 3-month contract with you, and they will pay you a premium price for your expertise. But I also love done for you. Those are two of my favorites. So this is what I want you to focus on over the next 60 days. Go to the next thing, guys. I want you to focus on having a low ticket, do it yourself program, a mid ticket, done with you program, and a high ticket, done for you program. And if you don't have anything yet, my wife didn't have anything, and we did the done for you program. Because it doesn't take a lot of $10,000 to $12,000 sales to get 6 figures. So if you don't have a high ticket program, I really want to make sure that that's where you get incorporated. But over the course of the next 60 to 90 days, you can build out all 3 of these. You charged your wife? Yes, I did. My wife got charged. She did not pay me $100,000 because I did not spend a day with her. But she did pay $6,000. $6,000 because she wanted to do this the right way. So this is where I want you to get to. I love what Hal Elrod said. Hal Elrod said, I was told for 5 years that I needed to create a digital course, and he didn't do it because he felt overwhelmed. Advance Your Reach helped me do it in 1 day. And that digital course not only sells over 100 courses every single month, it's impacting people every single day. How many of you would love for us to build some of your low, mid, and high in the course of a day or the course of a week? Like, that's how quickly you can do it. So my question has, where would you rate yourself in the third bucket, which is the products and services, and how well you have that executed? Meaning, if you have 3+ products that are generating revenues today, you're probably in the 7, 8, or 9 range. If you have 2, you're probably somewhere in the 4 to 6 range. If you have 1, you're probably in the 2 to 4 range. And if you have none, you're like a 1 or a 2 or a 0, as Connie said. Come to me, team. Your products and services are what change people's lives. Having clarity just gives you confidence. Having communication shows them the gap that you can close for them. Having products and services closes the gap. But the fourth and final thing, and clarity is foundation, but the fourth and final thing that I want to teach, and then we're going to do a little bit of Q&A, and I'm going to have my wife up here because I'm going to show you a case study of all 4 things I'm teaching you. A case study is I want you on stages. You have to get attention. You have to get attention, and you have to get customers. And here's the thing. These roads that I'm about to show you, people tell you are actually what you need. Guys, go to the next slide. The types of roads, funnels, your own events, challenges, phone calls, podcasts. People tell you you're 1 funnel away. No, you're 1 traffic source away. Just build your own event. No, fill your event. Run a challenge. No, you got to have people in the challenge. Get a Calendly link for phone calls. No, you got to book phone calls. Start a podcast. No, you have to have listeners on your podcast. You have been sold a bright, shiny object syndrome that thinks that's what's going to get you customers. And it's simply the road. And the road without traffic is useless. Yes, that's what you believed. I believed it. I'm not saying any of these 5 things are bad. They're all powerful, but they're not powerful without the traffic source. A road without traffic is useless. This is not the field of dreams. If you build it, they will not come. Sorry. So a road with traffic is what you need. What are traffic sources? Paid media. You can spend money on Facebook. They'll take your money. Content marketing. It's incredible, and I do all 5 of these, but it's a long game. SEO, search engine optimization. Once again, a long game, email marketing. But you got to have an email list, and it takes some time to build an email list. Affiliate marketing. These are all powerful. I use all 5 of those. Actually, I use 4 of these. But they're costly. They take a lot of expertise, and a lot of them are long game. And so the choice that I've made to drive customers, is other people's stages. I just did one last week, and I just did one today. OPSs. Can y'all say OPS? OPS. 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 It's like leveraging other people's money, team. Other people's money. That's what OPS is like. Other people's money. How do you say, Pete? Let me show you one illustration. And if this doesn't get you to buy into OPSs, I don't know what will. So Grant Cardone spent in 2019 through 2022, $43 million. Keep clicking. One more time. $43 million to put on his own events. His own events. That's the hard cost associated with that event. That's not all of his team's time. That's not all of his team's time, nor is that all the money he spent prior to that. Like, he's probably spent 9 figures, over $100 million to get there. Meaning building funnels, building content, building all of this stuff. He's probably spent hundreds of millions. And guys, I want you focused here. Like, I see some of the chat having side conversations. Be here with me. Like, stay on track right here. Your sidebar conversations won't serve you. So he spent over $100 million. He spent $43 million. Guess who was on his stage all 4 years on his OPS? That sexy Mexican right there. Guess how many customers I generated? Or guess how much money I spent? None. Guess how many customers I generated? Thousands. Guess how much revenues that was? 8 figures. And the impact? Countless. It doesn't matter if it's a small stage, a big stage, a digital stage, a physical stage. Other people have spent the time, money, and energy to build it. And because you have one incredible talk that can serve their people, they will let you on that stage. And so I want to give you 3 steps really quickly to booking stages on demand. I need you to know stages. I need you to find stages. And I need you to win stages. And in 10 minutes or less, I'm going to talk about these 3. We're going to take some Q&A at the end. And I got my beautiful wife that I'm going to bring on here in just a second. But write this down. No stages. First off, let's go to the next slide, guys. This is the one my wife loves. You don't have to leave your home. All of these other people have already built these stages, and you can do them from your home with your kids running around. Usually I'm at my house. My kids will be running around on a digital stage like this. And other people have built the audiences and followings, and they allow you with your talk to come share it. I had a good friend of ours ask him to be on her podcast. She just messaged me today. She got her methylation test back, and Sage did it with Jenna. And she was so fired up. Jenna's like, Kim, I want you on my podcast. Kim doesn't have to get ready. Kim doesn't have to be on video. Kim is an introvert. You will see that here in a minute. But Kim gets to go share her message on a podcast, passionately speak about it. That will literally generate thousands and thousands and thousands of leads and help her serve some of those leads as customers. Grant Cardone told me last week, podcast, just the bucket of number 5 on there, has created $100 million in revenues in his career. Just podcasts. The next slide, I love this. Pat Quinn says anytime anybody is on his podcast, their business goes up. Lance said anytime that anybody gets on his Facebook group and goes live and they're selling a book, they become a bestseller. Grant Cardone says he's generated over $100 million in revenues just from online stages. The first thing that a lot of you might just want to be on is online stages. The people have built the time. Pat Flynn has built his podcast. He has 1 million+ downloads a week. Why would you try to go build 1 million downloads a week when you can go be on his podcast and be in front of 1 million people just like that? The second type of stage that I want you to be thinking about is the in-person stage. In-person stages, click them all, guys. In-person stages are coming back with a vengeance, and they're selling out because people want to be in a room. My favorite one for all of you across the world is the local stage. Just the top left-hand one. You could become a 6, 7, or 8-figure business owner just by being on local stages in drive time around your home. Now, if you're in a remote area where there's nothing, I get that there are exceptions to that rule, but for the most part, if you live in some radius of some population, I could live in Amarillo, Texas, and build a 7-figure business of what I'm currently doing just by being on local stages. Forget the big growth con stages. I was just on a stage of 50 people just like 2 hours ago. And that stage had already generated $300,000 in revenues and will probably be $500,000 in revenues by the end of the day. Did y'all hear that? Did you hear that? I got to drive there and then drive back to be with you guys. That's the power of these. Here's the power of offline stages. Gary Brecka said this. He's like, dude, you were right. 60 minutes of content, meaning a powerful talk. You share a great value-based talk and you land customers. Gary Brecka landed just shy of 2,000 customers in 1 hour this week. No, that's not just for Pete. That's not just for Gary. That's for you. That's for Kim. That's for everybody. So the first part is you've got to know stages. The second part is you got to find stages. Find stages. There's 2 ways to find stages, and I'm only going to talk about one of them, and I'm going to have the team skip ahead. There is champions and cold. I'm not going to talk about cold because cold only converts at about 10 to 20%, meaning you have no connection with them. I'm just going to focus on champions. Guys, if you can go to champions right now, and then after I'm done with this, we're going to go to the win stages one. So we're going to go right to the win stages. Champions are someone who know the impact you are creating in this world around you, who truly believe in what you have to say. A champion can be a past or current client, a colleague, a strategical partner, or someone's stage that you've already been on. Think customers, donors, subscribers, fans, mastermind groups, past stages, social networks, board members, associations you're a part of, clubs, groups, forums, bloggers, podcasters, authors, experts you know. I just shared this to the licensees a little bit ago. What do you think the conversion rate is when a champion introduces you to a stage? What do you think the conversion rate is when a champion introduces you to a stage? It's 80%. It's close to 80%. So if you will simply begin to ask champions, that is your shortcut to winning stages today. That is your shortcut to winning stages. Let's go to the winning stages, guys, and then I am almost done. No, the win stages, guys. The win stages with the heart. Go back a few. There we go. So in order to win stages, you need to know this. This is the one thing you've got to know. A meeting planner is the one who controls the stage. And the meeting planner is somebody who has direct or indirect influence of the stage. Grant has direct. Jared has indirect. I have direct of mine. Kim is indirect. The bigger the stage, the more indirect that you want to go to. The smaller the stage, you can go directly to the source. And I have 10,000 hours on calls with meeting planners, 10,000 hours. And next slide, guys, 10,000 hours of literally talking to them over the course of the last 20 years. And I know the top 10 things that stop you from being on their stage. But the number one thing that they're looking for in you is that you can solve a problem for their audience, i.e. your signature talk. If you can solve a problem for their audience, they will have you on their stage. They will have you on their stage. So Pete, how do I win stages? I'm glad you asked. This next thing is it's going to feel overwhelming, but I'm going to make it very simple. This is the campaign. This is what we call the OPS stage campaign. Now go back, guys. OPS stage campaign. This is it. I'm going to focus. Do you see under digital stages, the first impression video? Under industry stages, the first impression video. Under physical stages, the first impression video. It is the one tool that we use going down every path. No, stay there, guys. Stay there. It's the one tool that we use going down every single pathway because it works. When you're working with us, we work out this whole campaign. But what I want to focus on right now, and you can go to the first impression tool, is I just want to give you one tool that you can use. It is the one tool that has won more stages for me and all of our people who use this tool. You could win a stage today. And then I'm going to kind of bring us full circle, bring my wife on, and then take some questions. So I love this first impression video. Let's go to the next slide, guys, because it's literally a video and a script that is simple script. Let me tell you the pieces of the video script here. Let me tell you the pieces of the video script. So there are, and you might want to write this down because this is very valuable. First, you build rapport. Then you recognize them in their event or their whatever they are doing, their podcast, and you really talk about them in their event. Do a little research, know a little bit about them. The third thing that you do is help them solve you talk about you and the problem you can solve for their community. The fourth thing you do is provide social proof. The fifth thing you do is a win-win. And the sixth thing you do is a call to action. You do this in 2 minutes or less. I want you to see what a guy who controls CEOs of EO Network, which is 7- and 8-figure business owners, said about this. Watch this. I'm going to actually demonstrate this. Next slide, guys. He said, every year I bring several speakers to speak to our CEOs. I've seen all sorts of things to try to win my stage. Just one single piece of this campaign that Pete used was the first time a speaker had ever used it, and it worked. So be the person who uses this for a first time. Some of you have heard me told this story, but a lot of people will know the gentleman on the left in this next picture, but most of you won't know the woman on the right. The gentleman on the left is Michael Phelps. The person on the right is his mom, Debbie Phelps. For those of you that don't feel called to big stages, I want you to find yourself in the Debbie Phelps bucket. For those of you that feel called to big stages, I want you to find yourself in the Michael Phelps bucket, and I want you to see how both of these matter. Debbie Phelps was a building principal out in Baltimore ISD. I heard this in the 2008 Olympic Games. I found that out, and I shot her that video. And I shot the script. Go to the next page. And this is what the script said. It said, hey, Debbie, it's Pete Vargas. So Bill and John and Betty and all these people have told me such incredible things about you. Thank you for what you're doing for Baltimore ISD. And thank you for what you're doing in your school. All of the major initiatives that you've created to create compassion and keep your school safe and full of love. I've been researching it all, and I'm blown away at what you do. My name is Pete Vargas. I'm the National Marketing Director for Rachel's Challenge. Rachel was the first girl killed at Columbine back in 1999, and her writings and journals are the foundational piece of a school program that's helping end teen suicide and school shootings in schools all across the country and making schools a more compassionate place. We have been in tens of thousands of schools, social proof, and we're seeing a school shooting prevented every day. A teen suicide prevented every day, and a school shooting prevented every month. And I would love to talk to you about sponsorship opportunities and speaking opportunities. Would you click on the link below and schedule a call? Now, come to me, team. You don't have to have, you could say we've helped people lose weight. You don't have to have those big of numbers, and we had those big of numbers. And Debbie Phelps scheduled a call with me. And she scheduled a call with me, and she booked us in her school. She paid for us to be in her school. Then she put us on a small little stage of 100 people. And those 100 building principals, 20 of them booked us to be in their schools. It went from a $5,000 engagement to a $100,000 engagement. And now those schools continue to book year in and year out. I bet you that one video was worth $1 million and thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of kids being impacted from that one video. And then I found out Michael Phelps was speaking in 2018 at the World Series of Sales. And at this point, I now have my company. And I shot the same video, except instead of being about Rachel's Challenge, it was now about me or about you. And bring up the slide, guys. The CEO of that company heard that message. You can see that video on your screen right here. And you can see that I shot the video, and you can see that the CEO on August 24th scheduled a call at 10:10. And that day, that CEO said, man, we've got Michael Phelps as our opening keynote speaker. We got Howie Mandel as our closing speaker. We'd love to have you. Michael made $150,000. Howie made $150,000. I made $15,000. But I built in that I could talk about one of my workshops for 10 minutes, 5 minutes, not 10 minutes. So I gave a talk. Michael's the opening keynote. Howie's the closing keynote. I'm the Mexican in the middle that nobody knows. I gave that talk, and that weekend, I think it was 133 financial advisors bought one of our $10,000 programs. 133 bought one of our $10,000 programs because we had a system. Next slide. We had a system to actually capture it. It was my first $1 million stage. My first $1 million stage because we had a system. So my question to you, as I wind down, and I'm going to show you some numbers here. Guys, come to me. When it comes to attracting customers, forget about stages. How solid are you on a scale of 1 to 10 with customer acquisition today? 1, 0, 0, 1. Wow. 2, 5, 7 plus, 8, 1, 10. Cool. 10. You're good to go. You shouldn't be on here. -1. Stop buying into all the hypes of if you build these things, they will come. And let OPS become that system for you. So as I wind down today, I want to remind you that over the last 3 years, that we have helped our students get on 350,000 stages, sharing their talks with clarity and impacting 72 million people's lives, and their products and services generating $500 million. Let me show you how this looks in the digital stage space. Here's some digital stages we've been on since COVID. These are digital stages. Look at the leads, look at the sales, and look at the revenues that were generated just from digital stages. Look at some of those that were generated from physical stages, just physical stages, what we were able to generate. Those first two were 2 small little breakout rooms, 2 little breakout rooms with 100 people in them. maybe 200. And then for those of you that want to be on industry stages, here's financial stages, financial advisor industry stages. We wanted to land those stages. And look what we were able to do on industry stages. And so guys, I really want to encourage you, like the ROI of one stage and you landing 5 new customers. Like what would 5 new customers mean to you with the small little stage of 75 people? Like what would 5 new customers mean to you? Like really able to pay rent, 5K, what would it mean? I'm curious, but from your products and services, if you're clear on your price, what would 5 customers mean? 25,000? 6 to 7 figures, 20K, 250K, 2,000, 10,000, 100K, 45. I need more staff. Yeah, that's the power of what a stage can do for you. And so we went through these 4 pieces right here. We went through these 4 pieces: clarity, signature talk, products, and stages. My question is, what was your rating in all 4 of these? Be really clear on that. Be clear on that. You rated yourself in all 4 of these areas. And here's my ask. I'm going to bring my wife on here in just a second, and then I'm going to take some questions because I want to show you her in these 4 areas in the last 60 days. In the last 60 days. And then I'm going to take some questions. But guys, you have 2 options today: to take all of this and incorporate it, or my question, thank you for that, 6441, is I want to help you move fast, like fast in the next 60 days. So we've put together something to help you move fast in all 4 areas. Can I show that to you really quickly? Like it's something we haven't done in a long time. Can I show that to you really quickly? Sure. I like the capital. Yes. Yeah, Jeff, you haven't even done this. It's something that you better be doing. And so what we have done is we have the stage to scale methodology in a post-COVID world. Nobody has access. Nobody has access to what I'm about to show you. Stage to scale is literally a 2-part thing. It's coaching and it's a curriculum. And the curriculum as of May 1st will be the brand new post-COVID curriculum that you will be able to go behind the scenes of it live. So not only do you get 8 weeks of coaching, you get the brand new stage to scale curriculum as well, $13,000 of value. And team, I want to walk through this fastly. The journey we walk you down through 8 short weeks from now is first foundation. We want to get you just like pop them as soon as you come up with that right there. Stop right there. We get you clear on your confidence. We get you clear on the problem you solve, who you serve, like the thing that you go. Next slide is these couple of things that most people don't know. Bam, complete in week 1. And then in week 2, our Caleb Golem said, creating my proprietary process became the foundation of my company. 100K to multiple millions and 16 full-time people and clients in all 50 states with AYR. Then in weeks 2 and 3, we help you get clear on your signature talk. Remember that story braid framework that I showed you? You can go to the next slide, the story braid framework. We help you build that and get that complete in week 2 and week 3. I love what Dr. Kaz said. Dr. Kaz said, I've paid for 3 high-priced coaches, but I've never received more valuable coaching than from Pat Quinn. And Pete may be the stage whisperer, but Pat Quinn is the signature talk maker. I love that. And then in week 4 and week 5, you have to have killer products. You have to collect leads. And we want you to convert those leads into customers. And so what do we do in weeks 4 and 5? We make sure that your perfect product suite is complete and that you're clear on what it is, the pricing, the products, and all of it. And then in week 6 and week 7, we're going to help you find your dream stages. We're going to help you build that ideal campaign that you can start winning stages on demand. If you're an introvert or you don't want to leave your house, we're going to help you get on other people's digital stages. If you want to be, next slide, guys, if you want to be on physical stages, this campaign will let you get on physical stages. But what we're going to do is build predictability. That is the 2022 post-campaign that nobody has access to yet, where we're going to help you get stages on demand, digital, physical, industry, whatever calls to you. I love what Kim Wolf said. Kim Wolf said, and I'm going through this pretty quickly, the results are in. A huge thank you to my coaches and to the support. I love being around go-getters. I had 17 people sign up for my first challenge. I had between 4 and 7 on the call show up, depending on my group. I sold 2 of my group coach packaging at $19.97. Like $4,000 might not seem like a lot to you, but it's a lot to me from one stage. So proud of Kim, and I love Kim. So not only are you getting access to the entire curriculum, guys, you're getting 8 weeks of live group coaching with my team. And you're getting access and the ability to access this today. And so we've included 3 things. Let me show you the 3 things that we've included. 3 unbelievable things. This bonus is, all of these bonuses are worth the price in itself. All 3 of these. Bonus number 1, we're giving you Clarity Execution Workshop. You will walk away from Clarity Execution Workshop clear on your business idea. More clear than you've ever been. It's a virtual 1-day workshop. It's a 1 to 8 setting. We have coaches that work through every person's business. You walk away clear on your business idea. Because if you're not clear on your business idea, it's hard for it to continue to progress. The second bonus we're giving you is a one-on-one signature talk design session with me and my team. They're going to walk you through mapping out your signature talk one-on-one. They're going to have you shoot a 3-minute version of that. And then you're going to get coaching on that 3-minute version after they've mapped it out and had you shoot a 3-minute version of it. This is not a one-on-many. This is a one-on-one. This is a $1,000 call that we've called in the past, and you're going to get, every one of you is going to get access to this. And then the third one, and I'm so excited about this. It's either going to be, I believe it's going to be April 11th or the 13th. We're going to do an exclusive 1-day live shoot. You're going to go behind the scenes firsthand and see what it takes to create a 7-figure, and it's actually going to be an 8-figure course. The new version of our Stage to Scale Post-COVID World course is going to be shot in front of your eyes in mid-April. You're going to go behind the scenes, and before we go shooting like the professional course, we'll lead in and help you understand what we're doing. And we're going to shoot all of the course in 1 day. Why is this important? Because I want to get you access to that training immediately. The final version of it will be produced by May 1st, but you will get the recordings of us doing this live version of it before then. And we want you to see how quickly you can produce a product just like us. This is something we've never done. And you're going to get access to that exclusive 1-day live shoot as we shoot the brand new course. These are 3 bonuses, guys. It all stacks up. I want to encourage you to go join stagetoscale.com. Join stagetoscale.com because these are the things. Yeah, these bonuses are unbelievable. 8 weeks of live group coaching, the curriculum, the 1-day clarity workshop, the one-on-one signature talk design session, and the exclusive 1-day live Stage to Scale shoot. Nobody else has gotten access to that. It's a total value of $16,978, and we are doing it for $1,997. $1,997. And I'm telling you, all 3 of those bonuses by themselves are worth the price. The thing that we want to do is we want to offer you a payment plan for those of you that say like, hey, can we do a payment plan? Talita, I hope you're in. 19. And when you're in, say it, because I'm going to freaking celebrate you. Like, if you're like, I'm in, say I'm in. Like, don't talk yourself out of something that can change the game for you 30 to 60 short days from now. Look at all these people saying I'm in. Like, I'm in. I love people taking that stand. S2S alumni, this is all brand new stuff. All brand new stuff. We have so many S2S alumni. All of this is brand new. Guys, you have two options. I've given you the playbook today. Take everything you've learned and do it on your own. But I know that how much faster you can move with me and my team. Me and my team. Here's 4 Stage to Scale alumni. I love these guys. I love Roger. I love Amy. Daryl is the man. Diana. These are people who are advocating for us. But here are the results. Here are the results that we've gotten from our program. Look at this. 350,000 stages. 7 to 10 times greater completion rate of this than most digital courses, because we provide a one-to-one and a group, a one-to-one signature talk design session and group coaching. 96% retention rate. Thousands of students in 46 countries. 5,200 coaching questions answered and archived, meaning you have access to all 5,200 questions. Any question you can have, you will see it, you will click on it, and it will tell you the exact timestamp of when we answered that coaching question. Nobody has that. 99% of the students walk away clear on the problem they solve. 90% have their signature talk written, and 70% know the stages they're going after. These are the results of the program. Join stagetoscale.com. We are here's my guarantee to you guys, team, I'm going to make sure it's even more than this. 14 days. And go attend Clarity Workshop during the next 14 days, because Clarity Workshop is the first week of April. We have 2 of them in April. We have 2 of them in May. We have them all the time. Go attend Clarity Execution Workshop. Go through the course for 14 days. We give you access to everything immediately today, the curriculum. And if you're not satisfied, we'll give you 100% money back guarantee. You go do some of the work, you go through the process, and we will give you 100% money back guarantee. No, 90% of people had their talks written, not 10%. And you might say, why is 10% not getting through? It's because people make excuses. But what I want you to see is the results that we've gotten. So as I bring my wife up here, one final thing, guys, keep going. $19.97 or a 3-pay of $739, $19.97 or a 3-pay of $739. You're going to go through the Stage to Scale methodology. That's what you're going to do. My hope is that regardless of what you do, that you are completely committed to the message you're getting out. Completely committed to the message that you're getting out to the world. The same way that Rachel Joy Scott was committed to the message, I hope and I pray that you are committed to your message. If you're joining us in Stage to Scale, awesome. And if you're not, do not allow the idea or the message that lives in you to go to the graveyard. I think about Karen Worstell, who was just getting started, like so many of you. She was trying to leave her job. She was starting her business, and she said, Pete, I made a promise to my husband and I that we had high-paying executive jobs and that I would replace that, both of our incomes. And within the first 6 months, she followed this process to the T. She is an incredible student, and she replaced both of their incomes in short 6 months. Chandler Bolt, who already had a business but was trying to build up some momentum, he needed a new customer acquisition channel. And so he told us, look at this. In 2018, he said, with a few hours left in 2018, we just passed $1 million in revenues generated from speaking on stages. In 2017, we generated 0. 1 million was our big goal. This was a post that he made on December 31st, 2018, and he gave us all the love and all of the credit. That's the second thing. And then the third thing is Michael Hyatt. I love Michael Hyatt. And Michael Hyatt basically said, these guys, this is a guy who was trying to scale his business, but wasn't using stages. And Michael Hyatt basically said, these guys helped me scale my speaking, design my talk, and understand how to use stages to grow my business. And so here's the last reminder right here, $16,000 of value for $19.97. $19.97. You can go into a payment option here, one pay or a 3-pay. Join stagetoscale.com. Join stagetoscale.com. And this is what I'm going to do. I am going to, hey guys, will y'all look at me as I bring up Kim here? I am going to, for the first 30 people, I'm actually going to go behind the scenes of Gary Brecka's stage this past week. I'm going to do a live training with me and Gary, and I'm going to take you behind the scenes of how me and Pat built out his talk to help him land just shy of 2,000 new customers in 1 hour on one stage. And there will be 30 of you. It'll be like a small group mastermind. And I'm going to allow you guys to ask questions. And so the first 30 of you will get to join me live on that. This is something I haven't done in years. Myself and Gary will be on there, and I'll break down his talk, and I'll let you guys ask questions for the first 30 of you. So Kimmy, come over here because I want to let them answer some questions. Guys, will y'all give some love to my wife, Mrs. Kim Vargas? Give some love to Mrs. Kim Vargas. You've been in the sun, huh?
Yeah.
So you've walked through this process in these 4 buckets. And we're going to come to your questions right after this. You've walked through clarity, communication, products and services. So take us through those buckets. Like as you went through clarity, like what did that help you do?
I mean, it brought clarity when it seems like you think you have clarity until you're asked specific questions, and then you realize like, maybe I don't know exactly who I'm going for or who I'm speaking to. And so just, it was a matter of a couple of questions and a few tweaks that Pat helped me make that really cleared that up. And then we went to
Communication.
Yeah, the signature talk. And it's the same thing with that, where there's things that I thought I knew going into it. And then by just asking a few of my own questions to get clarity on some of the steps, it brought even more clarity to that. So it just it's not even a lot of big things. It's like some little things that you're like, oh, you just look at it from a different angle. So that's been super interesting.
And then how clear have you gotten on your products and services? And I'm going to give you guys results here in just a second. How clear have you got? You've even added to your products and services since you were last with them with the couples package. So
yeah,
talk about your products and service package.
Yeah, I think it's simplified them. I think a lot of times at the beginning, you're thinking of all these ideas and it kind of gets complicated and messy. And walking through that helped me, once I knew exactly who I was speaking to, it helped me really hone in into the best ways to do that. So there's possibility of growth, but it's super simple to start.
So what's your low ticket product? What is the low ticket product?
That's the digital, where we
virtual
send them. There's a couple of things we send them. We walk them through the process, but we're not there doing it in the studio with them, so they can do it from home.
And the price of that is?
It's like 2,000, around the 2,000 mark.
2,000 mark. And then there is the next level, which is?
The next one would be like if, for example, me interviewing my grandmother, where it's just kind of one person, you're getting their story. It's being shot, professionally shot, edited. There's a whole process that happens beforehand, and then there's a whole presentation and process in the back end. That'd be the second.
And that price is, the range is?
Is that 12?
Yeah, it's 12.
Yeah.
And then there's the couples. There's the couples package.
The couples one, which is the same as the one person, but it's doing it individually. Since you have them both there, you'll do a video of them each individually, but then a joint one of them together. So that one's able to be done for not a whole lot more because you have everyone in one spot and you've done a lot of the legwork, but you're capturing so much more.
And that's like in the 15 plus range. So 2,000, so the masses can afford it. 12,000, 15,000. So she's gotten clear on her product suite. So when I say the perfect product suite, we're like, I'm taking you behind the scenes of the teaching right here. I'm taking you behind the scenes. So then like we've done some one-on-one conversations, but we've also been on a few small stages.
Yeah, like rooms of 25 to 50 maybe.
25 or less, probably, right?
Well, you had the one.
Oh,
you
50.
mentioned it, but I've been in rooms of probably 30 or less.
30 or less at a local level.
Mhm.
And then I've been on one stage of like 50 to 100 on behalf of you.
Yeah.
But you've been on a few.
Yeah.
Guys, and then how many stages have you been invited to? Just beginning to put yourself out there.
Maybe 6.
6
From the
stages.
one dinner.
From
That's
one-
what I know of.
From one dinner with 20 people, she's been invited to 6, mostly digital stages.
Yeah, I think all of them.
And that's your preference, right? Like you don't have a big desire to be on a physical stage, do you? And can you grow a 0 to 6 figures just from digital stages? Do you see that path?
Yeah, easily.
Guys, did you hear that? Easily. Can they grow a business from 0 to 6 figures with just being on digital stages?
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm going to keep her here for a minute. But what I want you to know is I did the math. We now have 7 video confirmations. So if you don't know this, Kim and I felt called to produce a video for her mom last year. Her mom was diagnosed with cancer and we saw her recovering, and then all of a sudden she got a terrible prognosis in August. So we went and shot what we call a legacy video, and Kim put a lot of work and energy and time into that video. And her mom passed away last October, and last November we were able to share that with the family. We were able to share the video with the family, and the presence of God and the peace and the joy when you found out about the family she grew up in, you found out about the family she created, her values, her successes, her highs, her lows, she spoke a blessing or love to every family member. It was the greatest gift that we'd ever given, and the family told us that last November. And so Kim came to me in December and said, you feel this calling to go help people share their stories with the world. I feel calling to help families share their stories with their families. And she said she wanted to produce a company. She's ran with it. It's called TBT Productions, To Be Told Productions. I think you actually have a website up now.
Yeah.
What is it?
ToBeToldProductions.com.
ToBeToldProductions.com. Like, I want you to see, you guys for those of you that were here in the training 60 days ago, she launched it 60 days ago. And right now, she's just shy of 6 figures. She hasn't done any virtual things. They're all 7 confirmations of in-person videos being produced. We're meeting with one of them in a couple of days here in Miami. And she's now been asked to be on 6 stages, but she wants to get the process dialed in before she gets on stage. She's having to slow the reins, because if we went and got on those stages, she would have more demand than she has resources to fulfill upon. It's a good problem to have. What I need you guys to see is yourselves in her. Whether you're trying to create your first or next 6 figures, she got clarity. She's understanding how to communicate it. She has her perfect product suite. She's been on a few stages and will continue to be on more in the future. My wife is the walking testimony of what we're building. And I'm so proud of her. I'm really, really proud of her. Like, we even had to get a nanny more involved in our day-to-day so she could focus on her business because of the growth of it. Like, a few short years from now, Kim might just outdo me. She might grow a business that's bigger than mine. And I would love that. Just like I would love that for all of you guys. So Kim, what would your encouragement be to them? Like, you've seen the way that I've served people for 20 years. You've been a part of my life, the way that I've served people for 20 years. This is the most minimal thing that we do. What would your encouragement be?
Well, it didn't feel minimal. I was just listening. I haven't
Sorry,
heard,
the lowest investment thing
Yeah.
that we do.
I
Not minimal, sorry.
heard what was all included. So hearing what's included and knowing because I've been doing it for the last 30 days or so, and seeing what can happen. It's crazy not to jump on something like this just because I've gotten to do it just now. So I can speak to it more than probably I would have ever been able to before.
Yeah.
So
Would you guys give my would y'all give my wife, I was gonna say my daughter, my wife some love, and she's here through a little bit of pain, but she's feeling a lot better. So guys, give her some love, hang out right here just in case they have a question for you. So guys, that's it. I mean, I'm gonna answer some questions. I'm gonna hang out and answer some questions for you guys. That's what I'm gonna do, because I told you, we're literally gonna answer questions. And I don't know how I can see the gallery view, but I'd like to see the gallery view. You know how to do that. So make sure you go to joinstage2scale.com, joinstage2scale.com, and I'm going to switch to gallery view. I think I just did that. I'm going to let you do it. Hey team, let's bring up some questions. Let's bring up some questions, and this is switch to gallery view right there. There we go. Now I can see all these pretty faces. Turn your cameras on. If you didn't hear me, I, at the beginning, forgot my computer at Grant Cardone's offices. So I am on a, what am I on? An iPad. I've never done a training on an iPad. So let's start. Hey, turn your cameras on. I don't see your cameras on, but hey, let's start getting some questions answered here, guys. Hey, be concise with your questions, because I want to answer questions for about 20 or 30 minutes. And I want to answer a lot. So we got some hands raised. Team, can y'all unmute and make sure I can see their pretty faces?
We've got Richard ready to go. Go ahead, Richard, ask your question.
Hi, sorry, the signal broke up then. Hi, Pete. I saw you at 10X at the weekend. I was very impressed with the weekend. I've got two questions for you. Obviously, you're based in the US and everything about your stage is US focused. Have you worked with anyone in the UK on this program?
Oh, 46 different countries. 46 different countries.
And I'm obviously looking. I'm looking to do something with you now. It's obviously this package, and there's a stages package that we were talking about with Grant at the weekend. What's the difference between the two?
Yeah, I've seen that question a few times. So let me get clear on that. So thank you for bringing that up. What we've done, and I don't want to get into the details over there because you know it, but what we've done is we have partnered. We announced a major partnership with Grant Cardone in the domain of just stages. Stages have been the number one thing for him, my buddy Dean Graziosi, myself, in helping us get our message out to the world. And now you see in my wife. Like when I say a small little stage of 20 people, a small little stage of 20 people netted her 5 new customers and 5 or 6 new stages. It's a pretty big deal. So Grant and I are now partnered just in the stage domain. And so Richard, what we're doing over there is a full immersion workshop, a 2-day workshop that's really, really focused on the stages, and then like literally getting your 3-minute pitch down. And it's very intense. It's very 2 days. And that's what we're doing over there. What this is this program that you see is a program that we've had for almost 4 or 5 years. It's for people who might not be clear on their idea. It's for people who don't have their product suite dialed in. It's for people that need a little bit of one-on-one help, like outlining their talk and mapping out their talk. And there is the stage component. So the difference is that we're really walking through like the whole business building. But like if you're at like they're very complementary of each other. Like they're very, very complementary of each other, is what I would tell you, Richard. So does that answer your question?
Yeah.
And glad to have you from the UK. We got lots of students in the UK. It's probably our UK and Aussie are probably 2 of our bigger markets, you know. So I hope to change that with some other folks. So let's keep going. Go ahead.
It's me.
Yes.
I think it's Idalmis. Hi, how are you, Pete and Kim? Nice to
Good.
meet
How
you.
are you?
I'm calling from Florida, so I was in also in virtual in 10X. So I saw you talking, your wife. I saw everything, like in terms of every presentation. My question to you is, my advisor was Matt in the breakout rooms, but also Matthew, and then I talked to Matt 2 weeks ago. And I was following you and see the system that you have with the 13 stages or 13 phases. And I talked to him and I signed with you. Yay! I signed with you for different price. So I just wondering if it's gonna be more intense with my program besides this one, because the one that I bought was the 6,100.
Yeah, so that's what I just alluded to. That's a 2-day intensive workshop. This is not a workshop. This is an
No, no.
8-week. This is an 8-week process. And
Pete,
so
it's Daniel here. I just want to, she signed up with our one-on-one
oh,
coaches.
okay. So hey,
Yeah.
Daniel, why don't you guys take that offline? So she's done
Yeah.
she's done more of a one-on-one. So why
Yeah.
don't you take that offline, Dee, and make sure you guys connect? Cool.
Thank
That's
you,
great.
Pete. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. What's the next? Let's keep it going, guys. We have a lot of people here. Hey, and go ahead. I'm trying to look at some of the questions in the deal too. Go ahead. How are you?
Okay. Hi, great. Thanks. How are you doing? I will be brief. I am curious, so how important is audience size or like your follower count on your social media, your email size, if you're trying to get on medium to large stages? Like, do they care? Does it matter?
So 4 years ago, the first thing that happened when I walked off Grant Cardone stage is somebody in the audience said, "Man, you only have 200 or 300 Instagram followers. Like, you got to step up your IG game." And sometimes I get a little bit my human comes out. I'm like, yeah, I really don't have to step up my IG game. I was just in front of 34,000 people on a stage. And he's like, "Oh, you were." So like, one of the things I haven't done a great job over here is focusing on go look at my Facebook, go look at my IG. The only reason why it's somewhat a little bit of size, and it's not even that big, is just because of the stages I'm on. Like last week, it grew by 1,000 because of the stages I'm on. So big size stages might matter a little bit. But the bigger thing is getting so clear on the problem you can solve for them. Like, I'm the only person to speak for 4 years on Grant stage. Why? Because stages were a huge thing in his business and they changed his dynamic. And so he wants his audience to know that. So I think still put effort on there, but it's a long game and it will not impact if you put the right tools in front of the people who are the decision makers. It will not impact you getting on those stages. It won't. So
Perfect.
I really want to encourage you in that. And I hope that you'll join us, because I think that this program will help you a lot.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Who's next?
We have Rachel up next.
Hey, Rachel. Hey guys, just for the record, the gift is actually the gift that I promised. I'm sorry, there wasn't a slide in my presentation. It's at joinstagetoscale.com, and team, make sure you drop in that link. At the bottom is the free gift. We just put everything on one page. So that free gift that I promised is actually there. The difference is doing the free gift. It gives you the blueprint. It's just a difference of you doing it on your own or you doing it with us over the 8 weeks. So that's the big difference. So thank you, Nicole, for that reminder. And joinstagetoscale.com, team, if anybody's putting that in the chat, please make sure that you let them know that. So go ahead. Thank you.
Hi, Pete. Hi, Tim. I just wanted to say I saw you last weekend at 10X convention. You're amazing in the Zoom. Thank you for that. I just wanted to say that I'm just starting out in my business. So I have a lot of, I guess, as my business coach would call it, a lot of niches. But I'm also a cancer survivor of 6 years now, breast cancer survivor. So some people are saying that I should talk about cancer and how I cured it and stuff like that, but it's a very touchy situation because I treat things holistically. Like, I really love the 10X My Health, and eventually I do want to franchise with you guys on a 10X Health. That is my.
So let me get to your question. So what's your specific question?
As far as the payments, I'm going to jump on that. I really think that's great as far as the payment arrangements. I'm also a full-time nursing student, so I have a payment arrangement for college as well because I don't have any debt. I don't take out personal loans or anything like that, so it's very time-consuming for me. How long is you said 6 to 8 weeks is the blueprint? Now, is it a classroom setting? Because I have clinical rotations, I have school, I have nursing career.
Yep.
As
So-
a nurse student, as a holistic nurse, as a holistic health coach. So I kind of have a lot of businesses. I just want to condense, like you said, the clarity to where to focus my energy to make it 6 figures so I can include it in my nursing career as well.
Yeah, so let me tell you a couple of things. So I want to give you an example. Like you're on a stage right now, believe it or not. And guys, once they've asked their question, we can mute. And I want to still keep them up with me, but you're on a stage right now. And so what's happening is you are an experience of what I had on Monday, where we have got to get you clear because you're all over the board. And I mean that with love. I mean that with love. And hopefully you receive it as love, but you're all over the board. And most business owners are all over the board. I got all of these ideas, all of these things, all of these thoughts, all of this stuff, but they never operate in one. You don't have to go teach people how to cure cancer. Like, you can't even use that word, really. You've got to teach people how to, battle during it. It might be something that you're helping them understand how to battle as they're walking through it, and being a resource and a help and a support from their mind, their heart, their relationships. But what you've got to do is get clarity. And so, guys, clarity workshop is a 1-day workshop where we get you clear on your business idea. That's the first thing that I want to make sure everybody's clear of. Then the 8 weeks, you can go through the curriculum in 8 days if you choose to. You can go through it in 8 hours. Somebody could finish the curriculum in 8 hours in 1 day. We just spread it out over 8 weeks. So it's bite-sized wins on a weekly basis. So the curriculum's on demand. The coaching is on a certain day and time of every week, and you get access to that. And you can even pre-submit questions to that if you miss one. And it's a group coaching format. The one-on-one signature talk design session fits when it fits your schedule. That's your schedule and a rep schedule. So you get to design that based on your schedule. So I want you to see, guys, there's a one-on-one, a group format, and then an on your own format, because all of those modalities help people who are at different levels and different places. So that's how it works. The cool thing is this Clarity Workshop is coming up in the next week or two, and we have several of them. And then I'm going to go live behind the scenes of actually recording the newest course, so you guys can all see me behind the scenes of doing that too. So hopefully that helps. And I want to see you in the program. Yes, there is a 3-pay. So take advantage of that. Take advantage of that payment plan. It's not a continuity plan. It's a payment plan. We self-finance it ourselves internally. So thank you for that. Guys, it's joinstagetoscale.com. joinstagetoscale.com. So I just want to make sure of that. So, and by the way, Kim's here. So don't be shy. If you got a question for her, you can ask her. So let's keep going.
Hi, Pete.
Sister.
Actually, my name is Serena, and I've met you several times, Pete, and thank you for what you're bringing to our world. I feel very thankful for you and Kim. And my colleague and I have created a course for children to help with mindfulness, resiliency, happiness. I've been a pharmacist for over 25 years, and I've watched a lot of kids be on anti-anxiety meds and things. And there's so much going on with COVID and with everything going on in our world. We want to help children have science-based tools. And we created a course for them. And we want to know who to reach out to, because you've worked with schools. Like, who would be like guidance counselors, PTA? Who would you say would be the best contacts to be in reach with the schools to have them teach a program?
Yeah. So what I would tell you is that you've got to probably a kid is not going to buy this for themselves.
Right.
So
right.
you've got to you've got to really deliver a talk around what a kid needs to be resilient during this time. Watch this, everybody. What does a kid need to be resilient during these times? It's 3 to 4 to 5 parts. Then your course actually is those 3 to 4 or 5 parts that are in it. And who you want to reach out to is, you want to reach out to the PTAs and PTOs that have budgets for this. You want to reach out to the activities directors because they have budgets for it. You want to, school boards have budgets for it. Principals have budgets for it. Superintendents are some of the hardest, but they control all of the budgets. So as you get yourself in those domains, you want to deliver an incredible talk. You can't go tell them I got a course for kids. You got to go teach them what kids need during this time more than ever. And it just so happens that your course has those things after they hear you talk. Like my talk is an hour talk of you getting deeper 8 hours into my course, like getting into the depth. So your course is an extension of your talk. It goes deeper into the areas. So when they buy into your talk, they will buy into your course. And then you're going to have to think about the pricing modules, the pricing modalities being like, hey, if you put 100 kids in here, it's, X amount per kid. If you put 1,000 kids, if you put whatever, but position this as a program that kids can go through. And that's what I would encourage you to do. Is that helpful? Thank you. All
Hi,
right.
Pete.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you? I just
Good.
want to say thank you so much since doing Platform Tour Live with you and Pat. I've been on stages and I've grown my widow group to almost 800 members. But my lack of confidence is technology. And I was wondering, do we learn anything about the technology piece, how to create online or anything like that with this program?
What I can do is make sure maybe you don't need the SIG talk. So like Daniel, why don't you make sure and connect with Daniel on my team? Because if the technology piece is a barrier, which it is, but somebody starting a business doesn't necessarily need all the technology barrier. So like Kim had technology barrier issues too. And the course doesn't get into the depths of that. This process doesn't get into the depths of that. But Daniel, why don't you make sure you guys schedule some time here? And there's things that we can do to help you on the technology piece. Like if you're a business that technology and websites and email campaigns and all of that stuff is overwhelming, and you literally need that in your business, then yeah, just have a conversation with Daniel. We have a marketing agency that's phenomenal that helps overcome those barriers. So I think Daniel will, once Daniel or somebody on the team chats with you, I can tell that you're committed to something. You're just in a position that's a little bit different than other folks on here, which is great because of what you're accomplishing. And I'm really proud of you, but I want to make sure that we do what's, right for you. So cool. Awesome. Let's go.
Hey, Pete, Scott Logan, can you hear me?
I can, my man.
Hey, buddy, it was good to meet you in Miami. I'm in Texas.
I loved it.
And I told you I was jumping in, so here I am, and I'm ready to roll.
Dude, I love it, man. I love it.
So I appreciate, sir.
I'll see you in April or May. No, May.
May, yeah. But I appreciate you and all that you're doing, and I want to soak it up.
Yeah, I love that. I love it. Thank you, dude. Guys, the biggest thing, I know there's a lot of 10X. I didn't expect so many 10X because we emailed our list, but I guess a lot of our list was our 10Xers too. So the biggest thing is AYR is the educational company that makes sure the whole process is.
Hello, can you hear me?
Wait, let's mute guys for a second. AYR is the whole educational side to make sure that all 4 parts of the process are dialed into your business. 10X Stages has a huge emphasis on the stage part and getting that done like hardcore and really in depth. So yeah, I can hear you. Yes, sir. I cannot move this around. Let's unmute.
Hello, Pete.
Yes, sir.
How are you today, sir? Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Just a question. I have a marketing director who works virtually in Northeastern Ohio, and I'm coming to you live from Houston. So on these live calls, would we both be able to participate in those calls, or would it be one person and then we'd have to take the message back?
Good question. We just ask if there's somebody in your organization, and we just ask for people to be integral about that. Like if you have somebody in your organization, it's not another colleague that's trying to launch another business. That would be out of integrity for us. Being in integrity is somebody who you're saying is in your organization. So that wouldn't be an issue at all, sir.
Okay. And then the other question I have would be, you talk about finding your niche. What do you guys do differently than some of the other industry folks and your colleagues, Dean and Tony, do in finding the niche? Is it similar, or have you found a different twist to it that makes it a little more real?
Yeah, I think we have a different twist, and it's called Pat Quinn. So, and Pat Quinn is the one that leads, is his team, our team leads the clarity thing. So there's a process that's walked through in clarity execution workshop. Think about this for a second. You haven't heard of a clarity course or a clarity execution workshop. People talk about clarity at a really high level. And the problem is we never get into the weeds and ask the important questions that really drive clarity. And so, because it's not sexy per se, it's not ROI per se, but it's the lead domino that leads to confidence in customers. So we just get into the weeds and we get into small groups in that. And through the small group process and through the process that Pat has facilitated, it just knocks it out of the park. We don't stay at the high level. You can't stay at the high level and say, hey, what's your niche or what's this? You got to get into the weeds a little bit. And that's what we do. We get into the weeds. Unmute them one more, guys. Sorry. Go ahead, Jeff.
May I ask one more question, Pete?
Yeah, go ahead. Yes, sir.
I appreciate your honesty in the lower level, getting into the weeds, because we've been at this a little while, and I followed you and Pat. I was in the speak off with you folks, so I appreciate what you've done, for the services that you provide. And I'm just wanting to make sure that we can get in the weeds and really kind of define who our niche is, and because ultimately. I'm as a real estate investor, I'm known as the king of rehab, but I also then help new investors get started in their business. But my blend is in the mindset and self-development piece. So I'm thinking that you folks might be able to help us dig down in there at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So yes. Yeah, no, was that your question or is there another question?
Well, that was it. I mean, I was just throwing that out there as a comment. I don't want to hold you hostage. So I know other people want to get to you. So thank you.
Hey, welcome. I'm excited to have you. And Kathy, welcome. If you're in, I want to know you're in. Like we're stoked about this. Let us know you're in. I see Kathy's in. See a lot of people's in. So awesome. All right.
All right, Pete, our next question is going to come from Joseph.
Awesome.
¿Cómo está, Pete?
Muy bien, muy bien.
Muchas gracias para su duro trabajo.
Mi madre is what is she? Volia? My mom is white, bro. So I just got to be real with you. My dad is fluent in Spanish. My grandparents are fluent in Spanish. All of my aunts and uncles, but I blame it on my mom, Joseph.
Dude, I'm Italian. You got no excuse. So anyway, no, I really love your. I mean, you just have such a sincerity and authenticity to you, and it's and I'm sure a lot of people, almost everyone on here would agree. My question, don't want to take a lot of time. I'll get right to it. I'm embarrassed to admit I'm having a big issue with clarity. So what I wanted to ask is the type of attention that you would get in helping to develop that talk. And you're not just lost in a Zoom call. So I was wondering if you could kind of walk through that, if that would be all right. And by the way, I'm going to be in Mexico tomorrow morning. I'll say hello to everyone for you.
Yeah, well, hang on for a second. So let me tell you guys something. Like you're hearing, Joseph, you look like a successful guy. I bet you've done some good things in the business world. I bet you've created some stuff out there. Listen, the gentleman before you was a very successful guy. I hope you guys heard the story of the tennis player this weekend that I met, who is a world-renowned tennis player. Did you hear me tell that story, Joseph?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
The
successful guy. The crazy thing to me is lots of people struggle with clarity. And so it's, and they interweave, they try to communicate before they're clear. So I want to distinguish those two domains as two separate domains. I lost some clarity. I'm going to say this right now. I lost my clarity. COVID happened. And everybody in the world knew me as the stages guy. Everybody knew me as the stages guy. Build your business through stages. You got to have clarity. You got to communicate. You got to have products and services. And you got to either get on other people's stages or build your own stages. That's my business in like a sentence. And I wanted it to be bigger. And so I went out and bought a company called Platform University and started saying, we want to help you build your platform. The problem was the platform. Here's another part of clarity, is the customer understanding it on the other side. And there was a lot of education that had to be had for the customer to understand platform on the other side. And so part of clarity is me having clarity, but the other part of clarity is the customer having clarity. Clarity is twofold. Like, if I'm clear, but they're not clear, we ain't clear. Like, it takes two to tango. And so, like, I even walked through this season, I'm just being really honest, and I'm pulling back the curtain, and that wasn't my intention, because maybe some of you were on here even 2 months ago with Kim, and like, you were talking about build your platform. I was for 18 months. And inside, I was clear on it, but it wasn't necessarily clear on the customer side. And so, guys, one of the most important parts, I believe the biggest reason why an idea goes to the graveyard is because people aren't clear, or the customer isn't clear. So that's why we've built in a workshop that in the past was a $9,800 workshop. As of recently, we've sold it for $2,000. And now it's built into this. And so first off, we got to get clarity around the idea, around the big, hairy, audacious goal. You got to get clarity. And in Clarity Workshop, we do that. Joseph, in week 2 and 3, the course helps you build out your talk. But the reason we added a one-on-one component, and let me be real, it's a one-on-one 45-minute call. It's not a 2-day workshop. Our 2-day workshop is $9,800, where people really get their talks built out and have one-on-one coaching for several months. That's not what this is. This is a call, a one-on-one call, where one of our advisors maps out the call and has you shoot the 3-minute version of it to give you some confidence and a little bit of coaching based on that. There's not another thing out there that will do that. Now, will you be complete after that? Some people are. Not all people are. I'd be lying to you if I were, but what's not happening is nobody's giving that one-on-one out there with a digital curriculum and a digital course. Like, nobody does that. Nobody does that. So, like, why I'm stoked about the people who are part of 10X Stages workshop is because we're doing a 2-day immersion. And that's not what today's about. It's like 2 days of like fully immersion. And it's more of our workshop model. But Joseph, what I can tell you is you're going to get more in that one-on-one call than you've ever had, because we have a way of mapping out a talk. And for anybody, if you are one of the first 30, that call that I do with Gary Brecka, and go behind the scenes of how I mapped out his call or his talk, it will literally help all of you reverse engineer mapping out your talk. Now, maybe his content's different, his stories are different, but I'm going to lead that in a way where you can see how me and Pat think about reverse engineering a talk. So that's another thing, Joseph, that you will get if you're one of the first 30. And the reason I'm doing it as 30 is because I want to keep it intimate. I want the 30 to be able to ask questions as well, and us do that. So, dude, we're going to give you everything we can. And I can't, like, what I can't promise you is that you will be complete, but we're giving you everything that can help make you complete. So,
Wow.
Is that helpful?
Pete, beyond belief, man. And it just reinforces what I said about your authenticity and sincerity, man. Thank you for sharing that. You know, because I just have, I don't know if you can see, I'm here at Mass Mutual. I'm a financial advisor, and I got too many products. You know, and like Grant says, confusion, once your client's confused, it's over.
Yep.
So, you know, and if you're confused, it's over before you start. So
yeah, neither one can be, like, it's over before it starts over here. The problem with this one is it started and you're spending money, time, and resources. At least you don't start when you're confused. Like, you don't start. The thing that happens when you're confused is you don't start, meaning the idea dies. The thing that happens when your customer's confused is you start, you spend a lot of money, time, and resources, and then you come to realize that sometime in the process, something's not landing over there. So the confusion cannot be in either place. So, dude, I'm stoked, man. Joseph, can't wait to see you in it. Let's keep it going.
Pete, we're going to take our next question from Kayla.
Awesome.
Hi, P.
Hi, Kayla.
Thank you for your time.
Yes.
Yeah, I have two questions today. I don't know if the right thing to ask. So the first question is, I plan to present the pitch in 10x incubation because I have the tech ID that can help grant. So that is the first thing. And the second thing is, English is my second language, so it's a big barrier to me. And I'm from Australia, and I would say that Australia, the market of stage is not as common as it is in America. So if I can apply your help into the Australian market.
Yes. So stages look a little bit different there. So there's a couple of things I want you to know. Stages do look different, but there's lots of them. I know because I've been asked to speak over there 2 or 3 times on stages. It's just not an easy trip for me. And being a father of 4 kids, I've been asked to travel internationally dozens, if not more than that. And I just don't do it because I want to stay in the States. Now, what I will tell you is digital stages open up the world to you. Now it becomes an oyster because you can be on, there's lots of digital stages that of people who are in Australia that have Facebook groups, that have Instagram followings, that have podcasts. And so digital stages are a huge opportunity, and our methodology will work with winning physical stages in Australia because I've tried to win one. I tried to win a stage called Hillsongs about a decade ago. It's a big church, and we won the stage using our campaign. So like, I just want you to know the methodology is based around showing people the value you can provide to their community. Like every tool in the methodology is about showing the value you can provide. And that's what we're going to help you do.
Yeah. And how can you help with a person like me who speak English as a second language? Because I need to overcome this barrier first before I get to the stage.
Now, what's your primary language is?
Vietnamese.
And do you have clients that are Vietnamese, or do you have clients that are English speaking?
Yes.
Which one? Do you serve Vietnamese speaking clients or English speaking clients?
English. So both.
Both.
Yes.
So let's get your Vietnamese talk dialed in first and get you on some stages where there's a strong Vietnamese audience of your ideal customers. Let's start there. That's the low hanging fruit. And then let's move over to the English speaking bucket as well. So we start over here, but then we can begin to move over there.
So which means we, based on my main language, which is easier, and we apply the methodology to nail into the signature talk, and then we will improve in another language.
That's right.
Yeah, thank you.
That sound good?
Yeah, and another one is I'm going to present the pitch in the 10x incubator. Is there any advice or anything that you can help during the process?
Yeah, week 2 and week 3. Like, are you in stage to scale? Did you join?
Not yet.
It's week 2 and 3, which you'll have access to today. We call it week 2 and 3, but remember, we give you access to the whole thing right away. It will help you dial in your pitch. Brandon Dawson this week said this guy's helped dial in more pitches than anybody else out, like he referenced me. So it will help you dial in your pitch. So like, yeah, we can help you. I can't right now just because I want to answer more questions, but
yes,
but that's a big piece of what we do. And so I mean, just for that alone, I think it would be very great for you, Kayla.
Yeah. And I already have the clarity in the ID, the text ID that I'm going to present. So which means the clarity part going to help me to even make it more clarified?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Pete. Thank you for your
Thank you.
time.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye for now.
Hey guys, so that's a couple of you are asking how long the offer will be up. The offer, like, listen, you can buy stage to scale and the coaching anytime throughout the course of the year for the $2,000. It's the bonuses that we take away. So the bonuses go away on Sunday night. The bonuses go away. And it's because we want action. We want people to take action. The reason that I actually put the 30 people out there for the behind the scenes of Gary Brecka's talk, because I want to see who are the 30 people that are most committed to saying, let's go, let's roll. Like, I see the value in this entire package that we put out there. How many more hands do we have, Miranda?
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We get about 7 more hands.
Dang, okay. Let's be tight. Let's be tight with questions, because let's be tight with questions. I'll go a little bit longer. Couple of things. Dates. Miranda, when's Clarity Execution Workshop date? Dates?
The next one is April 4th.
And then the
April
next
4th.
one after that is when?
Hang on one second.
Guys, they're happening all the time.
Yeah,
So
we have 2 in April and we have 2 in May for sure.
there you go. You got 4 opportunities between April and May. So just know that. But Miranda just told you that. So that's a time-based date. You can schedule your signature talk design session. I would schedule that after you go through weeks 2 and weeks 3. And you can schedule that around your calendar. The curriculum you have access to today, literally today. And then the coachings are on Thursdays, Miranda, or Fridays, or do we know that date?
So the first date for Clarity will be April the 5th for the 1-day Clarity.
Okay.
And then the bonus to watch you guys record Stage to Scale live will be that next week on one of those days. We'll send you guys information. And then you'll get access to the curriculum on May the 1st, because we're recording that brand new curriculum for everybody. And then the weekly coaching starts May the 5th on, I think it's every Thursday.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things happening before then. Remember, guys, y'all are getting access to the brand new curriculum, and that we're going to shoot live in front of you. So cool. Let's go with some questions. I want to try to get through them, Miranda. So let's keep it going.
All right, Dr. Landy,
how are you?
Hi. How are you? I'm trying to fix my glasses here. I'm just nervous. But no, I'm in. So you could see my name in the database. Let's go. Let's do this. So I'm Dr. Landy Lane. I'm hailing from Chicagoland. I'm a digital transformist and university educator. And I specialize in e-commerce content, the new, fresh, hot, sexy Web3. And I have like 20 years experience in digital marketing, working at really large ad agencies. I am making a transition. Like, I still want to do the job, but I want to create my own economy. So what I'm solving is to have marketing leaders and all their greatness, let them know that they're missing out on the potential economy of the metaverse. It's going to boom in the next 5 years. It's going to be beyond belief. And the projection is crazy. So my question is, how do I build my signature talk, like bring the juice, be personable, but keeping it down to business?
So it looks like on my freeze frame is frozen, but you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm not sure why. I see myself on the bottom right hand of the screen being fine, but it looks like I'm frozen. So listen, you got the energy and you got the bubbleness. Like I love your energy. The cool thing is, if you can explain the metaverse and Web 3.0 in a way that has people see the potential and possibility, that's what your talk has to be. Like, the more that you can dial into your talk where people are like, oh my gosh, Dr. Lambie is helping me get out on the front end of this, like, it's game over. Like, you will see. Now, listen, there's going to be a bell curve. You're going to have your early adopters. But because you're putting yourself out there on a bigger scale than most, then you're going to see the S curve go up significantly, and then you'll have your late adopters. But what's happening is you got to build one talk to really make this thing make sense to somebody like me. and anybody else, and the opportunity that exists there, and help them understand how to win now. So like, to me, you have a huge opportunity, and yeah, I'm stoked to be working with you.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Yes, let's knock it out. Let's go, Miranda. Miranda, am I frozen?
No, Pete, you look great.
You like I'm moving? Like my freeze frames. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you're
All right,
moving.
cool.
You look fantastic.
Great. Okay.
You look very sunshiny.
Uncheck me, unpin me, and then repin me, because my pen on my screen shows me frozen. So
I gotcha. All right, we're gonna remove Pete really quick, and then we'll bring you back.
and Dr. Lammy's going to answer Chili's question.
Yeah, bring it on, Dr.
There we go. Now I'm not frozen. Okay.
Can you hear me all right?
I can, yes. What is your, how are you? What's your question?
Great. First of all, thanks, Pete. Thanks for hosting the virtuals in the GrowthCon. The moment that you got TD Jakes to pray for us, that just did it for me. Yeah, that meant a lot. Thank you very much. And I felt the Holy Spirit at the time. So that was amazing. And I just wanted to ask about like if there's any opportunity, and I'm happy to take this offline because I appreciate it might not be a public kind of conversation to have, but I just wonder if there was any way I could do anything else for you with value in exchange for being able to participate in this, because I can see this as a way out, but personally, financially, I've just been like I was part of a financial scam in 2020, and that's left me completely devastated, and like I lost my savings, and so like 2 years later, I'm only just beginning to climb out of it. But I don't want to stay here. I want to move on. And I'm just wondering if there's any other way I could serve you in any way. Just to show you that I'm committed, I've grown my YouTube channel from 0 subs to over 1,100 after the scam. So, and as part of that, I've put in an email marketing campaign, but I think the sales pitch being clear on it, it's not what I have. So I'm happy to do anything for you, digital marketing wise, video marketing. I could help Kim edit the videos that she's trying to put together. I'm just wondering if there's any way I could serve you at all. Yeah, to kind of
I appreciate your heart. I appreciate who you are. Listen, this is what I know. I know when we make an investment, we take things more seriously. And so this isn't an open forum. So I don't want to start hearing, I just listen to what I'm hearing inside, guys. So this is not an open forum to start putting a bunch of stuff in the chat to say, do the same thing for me, because we don't do scholarships often because we want people to invest. But what I will tell you is I'll shoot Daniel, make sure that she connects with somebody. And Chili, I'm going to make sure that we give you a significant scholarship, but I'm still going to ask you to make a minimal investment in that. And because I want you to be serious and all in, and I believe you're serious and all in, but I can tell you that the people who didn't show up for GrowthCon this weekend were people who were given free tickets. Like Grant announced that from stage. The actual people who weren't in the seats were the ones that were given free tickets, because we just don't take things so serious. So we're going to do something for you. But you're gonna have to take a baby step and just trust. And I'm sorry for what you've been through, and let's see that rebound. Okay, let's see that change the game. So somebody on the team will follow up with you. And Daniel, I'll shoot you a message. Let's keep it going, Miranda.
Sorry, I was talking into an unmuted mic. All right, Anna, you are going to be up next.
Okay. Hello. Hi, Pete. This is Anna. I met you at 10X GrowthCon. I took a picture with you, one of many probably. And my question to you is, if you signed up for 10X stages, which I did, do you recommend this one too? Like to do both?
Yeah. So listen, 10X stages is what you need to be in. Like, it's not a question. If you don't have clarity on the problem you're solving, and you don't have the products and services in your ecosystem that you need, then this is an incredible addition to that. So that's what I would say to you, Anna.
Like if I don't have like my signature message?
your signature message, clear on the business idea, the product suite dialed in, then this is a complement to that. That's what I would say to you.
Okay, thank you.
Make sure you tag me on that picture.
Okay, I will.
Trying to get 3 more followers so I can have 13 instead of 10. So you don't need followers, you need OPSs. OPSs get you attention, they get you customers, they make you a premier brand, and they allow you to have premier pricing. That's what OPSs do. Like, I'm not kidding you guys. This week, 2 people invested $100,000 to spend the day with me. Not because I have a big social following, because I'm the subject matter expert on my topic. I want you to be the subject matter expert on your topic. Go ahead, Mark.
Pete, I am so honored, man, to have you as my new coach. I got to tell you, I love the weekend at 10X. This week, I've been watching videos all week from you. I saw a very similar video when I opted in on your website to the story braid method and everything you were talking about. I immediately stayed up all night. I got one stage on Eventbrite. I got another pastor out in Nigeria that wants to ambassador my Facebook brand and lead, help 1 million believers lead 1 million unbelievers to Christ by sharing their story for God's glory and by telling their testimony. And so I called another old client and I got on his television show next week. And so it's just been amazing to find you. And I'm just so honored and grateful. I just bought you a $500 gift card from one of my clients in Colorado Springs that owns Slice 420. So my first question is, do Mexicans eat pizza?
Yeah. His wife does.
His wife does, is what she said. That's her favorite food, bro. Like, that's her favorite food.
Okay, so I want to know that the P.O. box on the company, is that a good place to send the gift card?
She checks the P.O. box. So
okay, so we're gonna send that out. And I also my book that I launched last year, 31 Wise, 31 Proverbs, 31 Days Wisdom for Life. I want to send a case of those to your team so they can seek God for wisdom through the Proverbs with my journal. So I need to know how many people are on your team so I can send out that many books to you.
50, bro, 50. And
is that enough? Are you sure that's enough?
Yeah, it's enough.
Okay, so I'm going to send 100 so each one of them can sow into somebody else's life a 31 Wise book.
I love that, dude. I'm stoked, man. Let's go. All in. I want you all in, bro. You're obviously speaking to my spirit today. So be all in with us.
I'm all in. I'm in. I'm looking forward to meeting you personally. And once again, what an honor to find you, to finally find the perfect timing. I come out of retirement after COVID, after 2 years. I haven't worked. I've been in the coaching space and I lost 85% of my bank in coins, in cryptocurrencies. And I'm like, I got to go back to work. So back in January, I go back to work and I'm looking for the perfect coach. And God tells me to take Facebook out of the closet after 4 or 5 years and step into my purpose and step into my mission and step into the rest of my life. And here you come. Unbelievable. And I'm so blessed, and thank you. I
appreciate it. Thank you, bro.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So, hey guys, lots to learn from that. Like, you want to understand how to win stages or whatever. Lot to learn on that for sure. So, Stan, how about you?
Yes. Can you hear me, Pete?
Yes, sir, I can.
Wonderful. Hey, I've got a service. It's a little known government program that pays money to businesses, would you believe, churches and nonprofits. I need help from you to know which are the best stages, digital, local, or OPS. What would you suggest, please?
Yes, sir. I love who you're serving. So OPS is the parent. That's the parent. Digital is a type of OPS. Physical stages are a type of OPS. And industry stages are a type of OPS. My opinion, all three. My wife's opinion, digital, because she can do everything she needs to digitally. She doesn't have to get on a physical stage. So like, I love all three of those. And I think you need to go after all three of those. And my playbook is I'm on one digital stage a week and one physical stage a month on average. On
Wow.
average, that is my playbook. But remember, my digital stages I get to do from my home. If I were at home like I was supposed to be at home right now, I'd be doing this from home, my home studio. So that's what I would share with you, Stan. And we can help you. What you're doing, we can help you do it a whole lot faster, like we just can, sir.
I appreciate it. Hey, Pete, I've been on your webinars before. I think this is the best that you've given.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Hey, who's next, Miranda?
All right, we've got Alicia.
Alicia,
what's up?
Hi, Pete. I feel like I know you because I was following you since you were on Own Your Future with Tony and Dean. And that's where I really got to know you. And like the others said, I really feel that you are very sincere, authentic. And you know, I love the fact that you have that spiritual background because I do too. So I just love the fact that I'm able to even speak to you right now. So thank you for this opportunity.
You're welcome.
So I'm really, what you're offering right now, I know that this is what I need. I'm a survivor of domestic abuse, and my whole program is around that. You know, the idea of helping survivors take back power and control over their life. But then the other piece of it, like, I'm trying to put all of this together, and I don't have clarity on how to serve them, like what the end result will be, because that seems intangible when I say take back power and control, right? And then I say that they're going to find purpose and make an impact. So that's kind of like the overarching areas, but I just don't know how to put it together and who to target, because I really don't want to counsel, because those are like people that's in the victim stage. So I was thinking I should target like those people in the middle that's ready to thrive. So survivors ready to thrive. And I just wanted to see what you might have thought about that and how you might be able to help me, because I was actually speaking to one of your people yesterday, Abram, and he said that I'm not at the stage where you guys can help me yet. So when this came up, I said, well, let me see. And thank you again for taking my call.
Yeah, so we have a lot of our we have probably half a dozen programs, and most of them like fall into the 10 to literally there's customers that pay us $1 million a year. Like that's not facade, that's real. So 10 to $1 million, most of them being in the $10,000 to $60,000 range. So when I say this is one of those programs that we make available because we want the masses to have the opportunity, this is it. So what Abram might have been speaking to is maybe one of the higher ticketed programs. But basically what I do in the one-on-one or what we do in the workshops, we're teaching and communicating in this program. So it's like you're getting what we're seeding into these other folks. And so this is where you need to be. Like, this is what can help you. So I'm sure he's speaking to some of those other things, but you just got to get out of your own mind and you got to get somebody to help you on this. So yeah, I agree with you. You don't want to be with the person who's still in victim mode. You want to be with the person who's ready to move out of that mode. And you got to go identify them and figure out where to speak to them. And you know, there's some thoughts on that, but like, yeah, I think you're on the right track. You just need a coach. Like, you got to have someone that you do this with. So not a training, you need somebody that's helping coach you through this process. And that's the invitation that I want to give to you today. Like, I love what you're up to in this world. And if I had enough time and we could do some coaching here, but I want to make sure and get through everybody. So like, you're on the right track, you're in the right domain. It's like, let's try to get somebody here or here. But I'm going to ask you to step out of your comfort zone and step into this today. Like, that's what I feel like I'm supposed to tell you to do. And I know it's a step, and I know it's a risk, but I think you would say it's a pretty educated risk. Like, this is a guy that knows a thing or two about stuff. So you're welcome. Miranda, who's next?
All right, Jonathan is next.
Let's go. Jonathan, what's up, man?
Hey, how's it going, Pete? Appreciate you, man. Quick question for you. When you are starting off looking to get on the stages and things like that, I'm just curious as to what your thoughts are about what kind of credibility you need to have before getting onto a stage. And I understand the significance of, even tapping into another group or organization's credibility, like third-party credibility. Just want to know what your thoughts are about that when you're first going into stages.
Yeah, dude, the only credibility you need to have is the credibility of being a subject matter expert on something that can solve a problem for their community. That's what they care about. If you can clearly understand what you can do to go help them and their community, that's the only credibility you need. You don't need social, you don't need highlights, accolades, big stuff. Like, that's the power of OPS. You only have to go prove yourself to one person. Jonathan just hit a very important thing. You just got to go show that you can solve a problem for them, because people who stayed till the end are going to get some nuggets here. They are the credibility for their community. You don't have to do any credibility for their community. Grant's saying, I'm bringing Pete on his stage. Dean's saying, that's all the credibility I need. There's nothing I have to do to prove myself to their community. They did that for me. I just have to prove the problem I can help their community solve, and making them look heroic while I'm doing that. I'm always want to make the person who brings me in feel like a hero for bringing me in, which means I can't be selfish. It can't be about me. It has to be about her or him. Like, it has to be. So, dude, that's what I would say to you. And that's the nice thing. To win Grant's stage, I just needed 200 IG followers. He saw that. He didn't hire me because of IG. He hired me because he thought I was great at a subject that would serve him and his community. So, great question, man. I hope Jonathan, I hope you're joining us. Join stagetoscale.com, join stagetoscale.com, and hoping to get, we're gonna run with you guys this first couple of weeks in April, and even into May. There's some really cool things coming up. So who else do we have, Miranda? Miranda, like, whatever questions we have left, maybe 2 or 3 more is what I have. So the last 3 hands we're going to take, and that's it.
Okay. Do you want to take video off questions or video on only?
No, it's got to be video on. Like, it's got to be video. So.
All right. Kenna, you are next. Or maybe not. She did not hear me. So let's go here.
Hi there. Thank you for this meeting. It was very informative. I'm from South Africa, and looking at your prices, it's like more than 10,000 from our side. And I'm into network marketing. So I'm not too sure in that space. How can I get help?
Yeah, I would have you talk with somebody on my team, because I think maybe there's something else. So I'm going to have my team shoot you a message, and maybe you can connect with them. I think that's probably the best, and definitely don't want to put you in any of a financial tough situation. So so I'll stop there. I'll have the team connect with you and reach out to you. Okay. Cool. Gotcha. And Miranda, I think we might have one more with video.
Yeah, we've got one more question. Kenna, you are up.
Hi, Pete.
Hi, Kenna.
Hi, Pete. I'm sorry, I'm working. If you guys see me, I'm actually in the tax world right now, so it's like crunch time for me.
Yeah, it's crunch time. So what's your question today?
My question is, I'm also in the credit space, and I know you guys help you niche down. How can I be able to tie in both of those communities within? Because I want to be all in right now. Would I be able to do that, or I have to choose?
No. Our methodologies apply to both sides of the business, the tax and the credit. And there's actually a way to create a greater framework, a greater process that has tax, that has credit, and that might have something else. So like the beautiful thing, and I want y'all to mute Kenna for a minute. So Gary Brecka does I'm going to go behind the scenes of Gary's talk. And Gary's got 4 distinctly different products and services in his suite. And how we built his talk was around those 4 different buckets of products and services. So Kenna has stuff in the tax, she has stuff in the credit. She might even have something in the freaking, something else. And so that becomes her proprietary process. And that allows us to help build the talk and build the process. So no, you don't have to choose, Kenna. I think we can help you. So if you're all in, I want to see you go all in. I want to know that you're all in. I'm going to be looking for your name. You all in? Unmute her. I'm putting her on the spot here.
I'm all in, Pete. Now, I just did one of my last clients before my next one, so let me get my credit card out and I'll be on the website now.
Join stagetoscale.com. I appreciate it. Stoked to have you. Hey guys, this is what I'm going to do. I only got this last night here in Miami before I go to a birthday party with some friends tomorrow. So I'm going to enjoy the evening with my wife. I'm going to go back to gallery view because I know we still have lots of people here. Let's go to this gallery view so I can see all these pretty faces. There we go. There we go. So listen, hey, thank y'all. Like, hopefully that served you. It's a Q&A of an hour of serving. I hope that served you guys of additional hour. I usually do 30 minutes. I see a lot of you. Man, I hope Jeffrey Tyson's in like he told me. Yep, Jeffrey Tyson's in. So listen, here's where you're at right now. We're done. And I want to ask you one final question. You're either left, like we got a lot of people still left. You're either like, I'm in. These are the 3 words I want you to either put. Listen to the 3 words before you say it. And yeah, Kim, you want to say bye? There's Kimmy. So I'm in, or here's the second thing. I'm on the fence. And I'm on the fence. Like I'm kind of trying to make that decision. And if you're on the fence, then I want my team to make sure that whatever that last thing is that can put you over the top, that they have that conversation with you. Like we have real people, like a real team, like real actually phone folks that will have a conversation. You're on the fence. Or the third part is like, this will put me in a financial tough situation. I didn't say it won't stretch you. It will put you in a financial tough position, and I'm going to take everything and run with it. I didn't say stretch you. You have to step outside of your comfort zone. You have to stretch yourself sometimes. I'm not saying like not pay the rent. Like, no, I would never want anybody to do that. But man, this is going to make me feel a little bit stretched, a little bit outside of my comfort zone. Okay, then you need to be on the fence and you need to make sure you get out of your mind, because this is going to go back to the beginning. What did I tell you I'm fighting against? Let's see how many of you, what am I fighting against? Let's see if you really remember where I started this talk at. Anybody remember that? Nobody. I'm fighting against ideas going to the graveyard. That's what I'm fighting against. That's my fight. That's the fight I choose. So I hope that if you're either in, you're on the fence, or like money is a barrier for you. Cool. That's okay. You've got all of the insights and the information that you need, but make sure you type that in there. Join stagetoscale.com. Hey team, if there's anybody on here, I think we got some bonus time, right, Daniel? Some of the people get like a bonus, like Daniel, you on there? I think there's something like, I'm not familiar, but I know we got some VIPs on here, right, Dee?
I think Daniel had to step away for a sales call, but I believe there is a special private bonus tomorrow for our buyers from today. Yes.
And for some of the VIPs that chose to do whatever the VIP was. So you guys will have a Q&A, a longer Q&A tomorrow, but you got some bonus Q&A with me today. So you got another hour. Everybody got another hour, but excited. Join stagetoscale.com. I hope to see you guys. Make sure that Miranda, that our team is connecting with anybody that's on the fence and that we have all of those comments. I cannot wait to see this new group of folks in the class. And then obviously I know I'm going to see a lot of you also that I've heard at 10X workshop here as well. So sending you guys lots of love. Miranda, make sure y'all get the comments in the chat before you sign out.